and it's not easy. I need you and I need you and I need you and I need you, and it's not hard. And all I'm really sure of is that I just don't know why. I'm not happy and not sad, particularly down or glad. I'm somewhere in between. I'm not blue, red, black or green, got no favorite thing. I'm somewhere in between. I'm not happy and not sad, particularly down or glad. I'm somewhere in between. I'm not blue, red, black or green, got no favorite thing. I'm somewhere.
Hi there. Happy holidays. This feels so weird to be live this late. I've been live at 9 a.m. before. Usually go live at 2 or 4 p.m. But to go live at 9 o'clock on a Friday feels kind of weird. Feels good though. And the reason I'm doing it is because last week I was watching our guest live and I thought, you know what? I want to go live on a Friday night. I could go out, I could party and celebrate and do things like that and be sociable. But I want to be sociable online and go live at 9 o'clock at night. So I invited our guest on and he's kindly agreed to join me to find some deals for Black Friday. So let's welcome, without further ado, my special guest, Francis. How you doing, Francis?
Hey, Aaron. Hi,
Great
everybody.
to see you. This is
Great
great.
to see you too.
That's not a lie. I was watching you last week on your show. And I was having such a great time. And I thought, I want to be there. You're on with the British guy with the TARDIS, right? That was last week?
Yeah, that's Ian Luckett. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. I mean, we've got to give this guy kudos. Look at this. Lee is watching in the UK at 2 a.m. So he's either a vampire or a big fan of the show.
That's awesome.
He can't even buy anything in the sales. Well, I think he has his own sales. You know, I'm just in case people are confused. I'm in New York City. Francis, you're in Canada, right?
Yeah, I'm in Montreal.
What's the time there right now? Is it 9 p.m.
Same
EST?
time as you.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. That's less
I'm
confusing.
just 6 hours north of you, basically.
Okay, that's good to know. I'll come and visit soon. And in the UK, they do have Black Friday sales now. Like I think Anderton's had
Yeah,
Black
I saw
Friday
that.
sales today, and I think they did that Cyber Monday, and now they do Black Friday as well. So it's everywhere. And where you are, they had sales as well, right? In Canada, like it's
Yeah,
everywhere
there's
now.
there's a couple of music stores that are having sales, and yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So I want to start this show by saying I am not here to. I want a disclaimer, Francis. I'm not here to make people buy stuff. All right. In fact, I might be trying to make people not buy stuff. I just want to discuss with you what deals I saw, and we'll discuss if we feel they are deals. We'll also talk about gear we like to use as we go and see if any of that is on sale. And if we wish, if we were purchasing now, if we would buy it today. So more of a general chat. I'm definitely not here to persuade people to buy stuff. But I tell you what, if you are watching and you see something at Sweetwater or Thomann and you are going to buy it, you can support my channel by using my affiliate links, which are in the description below, because I do have affiliate links with those companies. But I'm not doing this just to sell stuff. I want to just chat, and I want to make it more kind of gear focused, Francis, all right? Because I know me and you talk a lot about gear kind of in the chat when you're on my channel and when I'm on your channel. So today I want to do it in person, basically. So I have myself a drink for the holidays from the Soundhole Sniffer mug. Focuses, there we go. Cheers.
Very cool.
And I'll just give that a sniff.
Cheers.
Good stuff. I did buy a Stream Deck, and I gotta say, I don't know if the Stream Deck is on sale today, but the Stream Deck is one of the best things I've bought lately for streaming like this. It allows me to change scenes like this. I've got my hand on it right now. I'm changing scenes. I've got the round of applause. I've got the subscribe, right? If you do live streaming, this is a great thing to have. And that brings me to the first topic of today. I want to start with the software that I use to live stream, which is called Ecamm Live. And this may actually be the best deal of the whole show, in my opinion, because what you're looking at here on the screen, this is Ecamm Live. This is how I do my live streams. I use this software on Mac, and I've used it since the lockdown, basically. I started live streaming during the lockdown, which is a good thing that came out of that. I also use it to make my recorded videos as well, because you can use it and then you can import these files into Final Cut Pro and edit them. So I use it almost every day. So I really, really love it. They're a really good company and they're always improving the product. They keep adding new features, like this interview mode we're using. You know, this is very cool. It's like very high quality. I use it on Mondays with Maury. We do like he plays guitar and it's in full quality. Where with other streaming software, it kind of gets a bit garbled. It has like echo cancellation. Now, don't get me wrong, there are other platforms. There's OBS, which is free. That's what I used to use. And I'll ask you what you use in a minute, Francis. But this Ecamm Live, I obviously swear by it. I use it all the time. And right now, they've got 40% off, which is really good. Because when I got it, when I signed up, it was about $240 a year. And it went up to over 300 when they added a bunch of features. And with this deal, it brings it down to, I think, $230. It's actually $10 less than what I'm paying myself. And I'm going to drop that link into the chat. And then while I do that, Francis, because you live stream a lot, and you're obviously a part of the hippie community as well. So just tell us what you do, and tell us what software you use to do it, please.
Okay. Can I ask you one question about your software, though? I'm curious.
Yeah.
Does
sure.
your software broadcast in stereo?
Yes. You're in stereo. I can see you're in stereo right now, actually.
Okay, see, that's interesting because
Yep.
what I do and with the community that I'm with, we do a lot of it. I mean, I do some gear reviews and I talk about gear. I mean, I love gear. I mean, we're all gear nerds and stuff, but I also focus on music. And the hippie community focuses on music, basically. So we have a whole community of people that share music. Some people do covers. A lot of people do originals. And we basically broadcast from YouTube people's music. Now, the reason I asked you about your software for broadcast and stereo is that the one issue I have with the software we're using right now, we use StreamYards. I use StreamYards. Hippie uses StreamYards. And basically, it broadcasts in mono. So you don't get the full sound of the way people recorded their songs. So I think a stereo option is good. Unfortunately, you were saying this works just with Apple. It doesn't work with PC, or
so this is Mac only. I believe the PC version is called vMix, but it's a different company. Okay. But a lot of streamers, though, because I was also going to mention the Apple sales as well. That's the next thing. And a lot of streamers are buying something like a Mac Mini. The new M1 Mac Mini is under $1,000. And they're buying that and buying Ecamm and using it just for live streaming. And that's a good option too. Now, I know this stuff costs a lot of money, and I know we can just stream with our phone or we can use something like OBS for free. And I'm not against doing that either. But I think if you're going to do this like full time and try to grow it into some kind of business, I think it's worth considering. This is my opinion. I'm an Apple fan. I'm a Gear fan. I'm an Apple fan. Okay, let's get that out there. But you can't deny the M1 Macs are under $1,000. Are super powerful. They have no fan. So if you get one of those and you get this Ecamm subscription, then I think that's a really solid rig. And like you were saying, it's in stereo. And there's also what they call musicians mode, which takes away all the audio processing. So you can have two-way guitar playing and not get that weird garbly sound that you sometimes get on some platforms. And you can stream in 4K. And you can do what we're doing now and send the interview link and have both people in 4K. And they're adding new stuff all the time. I think version 4 is coming out next, which should have loads of more features. It's just really easy to use. So like I said, I couldn't be without it. I absolutely love it. And I think if you're really serious, my advice would be, if you want to make an investment, get an M1 Mac, use it with your existing display, and maybe keep your PC for your other stuff, and just have an M1 Mac just for streaming, and get Ecamm at that discount, put it on there, and then use that. And get it now while it's on sale. That's a really good discount. And they usually do their sales at Black Friday, and the price does go up. I think with this deal, if you get it now, you keep it forever. In fact, you do. You keep it forever. So I think if anyone's thinking like this is it, I've really enjoyed streaming. I want to do it now and make it professional and really take it up a notch. I think it's worth doing that. In my opinion. But just tell me a bit about StreamYard. I have used it a few times. I think when I was trying this one originally, I tried StreamYard and it didn't work for me because it didn't have enough features. It didn't have like the 4K and stuff like that. Right, but I think it's maybe cheaper.
It doesn't broadcast in 4K. I'm not sure if you get the pay version. I think it might go up to 1080, but I think it broadcasts in 720. To be honest,
let's check it out. They have a deal as well, 50% off right now.
Yeah,
this is it, right? Oh no, this is Restream. Sorry, this is Restream.
No, StreamYards.
I use Restream as well. There's a bunch of them. Let's face it, and I'm sure there'll be more and more as we go on. Let's see if they have a deal.
There's different versions.
Why can't I? Why can't I access the website? That's interesting, right?
It's an online program. You don't actually have to download anything. So basically, I log in online, so it doesn't slow down the computer basically because you're basically loading it from online. So what I like about it, I'm using the free version basically.
I cannot get on their website.
It's not opening?
No, it's just like looping. It's really weird.
Actually, you know what? Hippie was broadcasting earlier, and he was having problems with StreamYards. They might be having issues right now with their server at the moment.
Maybe so many people are trying to get the deal. Yeah, I cannot get it. It just keeps looping back around Google. That is very interesting. But anyway, it is good, and like you said, it's cloud-based. You haven't got to even install the software or anything. No, and Restream is as well. Restream is as well, and Restream's cool software too. But no, hey, whatever works for you.
What I like about it, what I really like about it, okay, I'm using the free version, but what I like about it is because it's simple. So if you're just getting into streaming, it really makes it simple. The buttons are easy, and there's actually a lot of features with the free version. The only thing that sucks about the free version is that you have the logo, you can't put your overlays and stuff. You'd have to get the basic plan basically to eliminate that. But it works well. It works well. I'm happy with it for now. But I am looking for an option to be able to stream in stereo. So your option might actually be very good for that.
I think you should get a Mac. I think the new M1 Macs are just out of this world, and they're doing great because they've got the M1 from last year, which is under $1,000, and right now they've got a deal where you get like a gift card if you buy an Apple product, and then the one I just got the new ones that came out this year, the MacBook Pro, which is more money. And it might even be overpowered for what I'm doing with it. But I know a lot of people that's doing what we're doing right now with the M1 Mac Mini. And right now it's like, what's it, $800 and you get a $100 gift card or something with it. I mean, it's good,
That's pretty good. That is good. I was considering it, and I may very well consider to shift over to Apple at some point. Yeah.
Like I said, I'm biased, and you'll hear more about that as we go on. Lee said. It's 2 a.m. in the UK. Please make me buy a Martin guitar. I mean, I'll try, Lee. If you can drop in the chat a deal on a Martin guitar in the UK, I'll persuade you to buy it. I've got no problem doing that because I know you want one. Do you know Zane? Happy Thanksgiving, Aaron Francis. Hope you have a good one. I hope you bought a bigger mug this time. Best regards from England. Everyone's in. This is crazy, Francis. Even when I go live at 9 p.m. EST, it's still out the UK in the chat.
Yeah. I've noticed that people don't sleep there very much.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I don't either. I'm usually watching the Hippie at 3 a.m., to be fair. So, yeah. And Matthew Carver's in Ohio. It's a more respectable hour in Ohio, I think.
Yeah.
Hope everyone had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Yes. Yep, it was very good. Let me throw one of yours up there then. I'm going to go to my notes here. So you're using StreamYard, and I do think they have a sale, but their website's not working right now. I'm sure lots of people are trying to get the deals and things. And I'm using Ecamm, and my link is in the chat, and it's also in all my videos. I'm going to show your first link, which is Brainwaves Audio. So I don't know what this is or who this is, so I will let you tell us why you like it and why it's good.
Well, what I'm wearing right now with my headphones, these pads here, these are from Brainwaves Audio, basically. And I can tell you, I've been streaming for the last 2 years, and my ears were killing me from the pads, the original pads. You know, they dry out and stuff, and you know, when you're on your computer all the time with your headphones, if you're doing mixing or whatever, you know, you have to be comfortable. And I just got these in the last week, and they are so comfortable. I can't even tell you. This week has been a pleasure wearing my headphones. But they had some specials on the pads and other stuff there. They were having some pretty good specials that I had seen.
30% off. I'm hiding it with my subscribe. Look, 30%. Oh, where is it? You can't see it on the shared window, but on my screen it says Black Friday sale, 30% off everything, plus 15% extra on orders over $50. That's a good deal.
Yeah,
that is a good deal.
I'm a little mad that if I would have known, I would have held off a little bit because I paid that much more.
I wanted to ask you about this. Obviously, when we know we're going to buy something around October, we try to wait for this time of year, knowing that these sales come up. But I see a lot of people today complaining and very upset that they, for example, signed up to Ecamm Live 2 months ago and are now missed out on that deal. I feel like people are getting upset over this as much as they're winning out from getting deals. What do you think about that element of it?
Well, I mean, it is frustrating when you think about it. I mean, you know, you just got it, and then you see people getting it at a lower price. But
yeah,
that's marketing. That's what it is. I mean, you can wait, but then what happens if it's not available after? That's another thing too, because you can have shortages, and maybe you won't be able to get it. So it's dependent on that. Because see, I was waiting about a month for these to ship in, basically. So it took a while for them to come in. If it was closer to now, I probably would have waited a little bit. But
well, in the lockdown, I was telling people, if you need something and you see it, you should probably get it because it might go out of stock, and that was happening. Again, not to force people to buy stuff when they don't want to, but that was happening. I think now I'm seeing stuff come into stock more, and so you know. But again, don't see something and think, oh, it's 30% off, I'm going to buy it, and then you never use it. It's the opposite problem to that, isn't it? Sometimes we buy stuff we didn't even need in the sale too. Well, I should speak for myself, but yeah, there are sales here, and I get what you're saying. Did you see my whole debacle with the in-ear monitors that I went through this year?
No, I missed that.
Good.
What happened? I'm going to have to watch the replay.
I went to the Summer NAMM show, and I've been wearing these in-ears since the live streaming. Basically, to live stream, obviously you wear headphones or in-ears. In-ears are great because you can't really see I'm wearing them, right? That's why I like them. So I was using ones from Amazon, which are $30 and really great. I was using them no problem. Excellent. And I was recommending those a lot. And then at the NAMM show, Summer NAMM show, I decided to invest in the Ultimate Ears custom ear monitors. And I had them made. And talk about shopping, this is one mistake I made. I just assumed, while I'm having them custom molded here as a well-known company, I assumed about return policies and things, or should I say I didn't ask about the return policy. So when I got them, I really struggled with them. Okay, part of that was user error because I wasn't used to wearing the custom in-ear monitors, which you'll see in the video if you care to watch it. Don't bother, it's a boring video of me trying to put in-ear monitors in. But I also found that they just weren't a good fit, and they were very expensive relatively compared to other ones, right? So I was kind of disappointed. So I went through a whole thing with that, and I ended up getting a refund. And then actually a friend of mine told me these Shores, I forget the model number, but these were on sale. These were on sale at half price and a few months ago. So I got a pair of these, and they've been absolutely great. And I think they sound better than the cheaper ones, and they're more comfortable than the custom ones. And I'm really, really happy with them. So that, you know, throughout the year, you can get some good deals too. And especially always ask your friends, right? And my friend posted that on Instagram, and I got a really good deal on these ones, and they've been fantastic ever since. So the fit and comfort of all this stuff is really important because you're wearing it for a long time, right?
That's right. It's very important. Absolutely.
Tone Wars is here. Good to see you, buddy. Tone Wars, I have. If you hang out long enough, I've got a really cool thing here to show. I'm going to show in the next kind of 10 minutes, which I think you'll be impressed by. I don't know if you know what I'm going to show, but you'll see. If you're still here, you'll see it. And I think Poo Ninja will like it too. All right, let me show one of mine again. So that is basically then they are cover pads for your existing headphones, right? That are more comfortable. Yeah, that's cool.
That's right.
That's nice. All right, I never heard of those before, so thanks for sharing that.
No problem. My pleasure.
All right, so my next one, I've already mentioned it, but I'm going to show it again. And then the one after that will be the one that I think Tone Wars will be interested in. But I want to talk about this because I think it's worth it. I just mentioned it. It's Apple. Forgive me, I sound like such a fanboy. I am a fanboy, so I'm not going to hide it. This is pretty. I mean, Apple don't discount stuff. They're not the kind of brand. A lot of brands now don't just give discounts, do they? Because it's not what they do. But what they do is they give you like a gift card. And I think that's kind of, I think that's kind of cool. So if you click here, let's see what they got. And a lot of this stuff just came out, which is cool. That often they won't discount things that have just been released. So iPhone, obviously, I'm more interested in the AirPods. I'm more interested in the computers. Have you ever tried the AirPods Max? They're like $550 Bluetooth headphones.
Never tried that. I am an iPhone user. I do have an iPhone.
Okay. Let me see. Okay, so look. Mac, $100 Apple gift card. So they kind of win here, don't they? Because they give you an incentive to buy, and then you have to go back there to spend the gift card on something else. And, Sweetwater are doing that too. They're giving you bonus bucks. So basically you buy a guitar for $700. They email you a gift card for $200, and then you're going to go back there and buy again, and it's going to kind of get you in that habit of spending money, isn't it? So it's clever. Hey, I'm not complaining. It's business,
but if you
right?
have gas. It's good. It's
well, we all have gas, don't we? Especially after Thanksgiving. I'm trying to find the computer I recommended. It may not be on sale. Let's see. It's these M1s. See, I'm so happy with my new computer, and it sounds silly. The reason I'm so happy with my new computer is the fan does not turn on. On my old Intel Mac, the fan would kick in, and you'd hear it in recordings, like if I was singing or doing a live stream. And I know that people don't really care about that stuff, because it's kind of fades into the background when you're listening to YouTube and stuff. But for me, doing recordings and stuff, I've been working on a Christmas song to release next week with my friend Peter. And it's just so nice to not have that fan turn on at all. Like little things like that are nice. And they're so powerful now. Like they've got so much power on tap. Let me just see here. They may not even have that model on sale. I don't know. I've noticed on the Apple site, it's not that kind of obvious, like what is actually, like it says here, MacBook Air, get a $100 gift card. Yeah. But then I think that's the only one. So actually, maybe the M1 Macs are not included. Oh no, sorry, here we go, Mac Mini, that's the one. That's the one that I would recommend to you if you want to get into the world of Apple. Yeah, there we go.
I've been considering it. I've really been considering it.
The fact is, people give Apple a tough time with their prices. And let's face it, their prices are very high. Okay, they are. But what they've done with these new M1s is great. They're so powerful that you could get the one here that's $699. All right, and that would be powerful enough to do what we're doing now with the live stream and do Logic recordings with 100 tracks or whatever. That is so overpowered for what it is. Or you can spend a bit more, of course, and get the more powerful version of that chip. Or you can spend a lot more, like double of that, and get the new one, the Max ones that they just released this year. But what's so great now is that even if you get the base model here for $699, which I think is a fair price for a really powerful computer, you can do a lot of this stuff that we're doing, and it's completely silent. So I really think they're killing it with these new chips.
See, my issue right now, it's not the audio recordings and stuff, because I have no issue with audio recording. It's now that I make music videos a lot to go with my songs, and it's the video editing that gets very heavy.
Oh yeah,
especially when you start getting layers and stuff. That's when I'm having problems, that my computer slows down. So like if I've been considering Apple, thinking that if it's more streamlined, then it works very well for like the video making aspect of it. I would definitely jump into it, because I've been considering it because of the fact that when I'm making my videos, I want it to flow. A lot of times, as you add the layers, it just jams up, and you don't even see what you're doing. So
yeah, that's the main reason I got the new computer. Because when I edit, I like to film in 4K. I don't think we need to, but I like to do 4K videos. and I'll get that beach ball all the time, and it really slows down the editing, and it made it a real drag. I don't get that anymore. Now I can edit almost in real time. I just drop the 4K file in, and I can edit in basically real time. And it just speeds up the whole process. It makes editing more fun. It's still time consuming, but it's like half the hassle. And also when I'm filming, there's no fan noise, so I haven't got to worry about that either. So it just cuts out all those things. So yeah, the M1 chips are really good for that. And I think if you're doing like 1080 video, you could easily do 3 or 4 streams of video of 1080 with the M1. I think people are doing 4K with them as well. The basic, the one I just showed you, was $700. I think they're doing that with that as well. So I can't see the exact deal. It's a bit weird on apple.com. It's kind of hard. Well, it says a Mac Mini $100 gift card. So if that's true and you can get the base model for $699 and a $100 gift card, I think that's, again, I think there's a great time for someone who wants to get into this kind of streaming to get something like Ecamm Live and that computer and really go for it. But again, I'm not telling people what to do, but I think that would be a killer combination in my opinion. All right, let me put your next one up here. Okay, I like this company. I've done a lot of videos on this company's products. I met them at NAMM. I actually got one of their pedals, and I didn't do much on it, because it didn't really fit into my workflow. And then about a year later, I needed the pedal, and I bought a different one, and I made loads of videos on it. And I also use it for these streams as well. But I'll let you talk about why you bought it and what you're going to do with it. This is the Morningstar MIDI pedals. Yeah. So why are you interested in these? You got yours already? Oh, you got it?
It came in. I swear to God. I ordered this on the 23rd, and it came in on the 25th. It left Singapore, and it got to Montreal in 2 days. It is unbelievable.
That's great.
I couldn't believe it. But yeah, this is, I got the MC6. That's what I have in here, basically. The one you have, from what I saw in the videos, is the MC8, basically, right?
I have the 8, because, I feel like the more switch... I had the 6, so I got the 6 to review from them at a NAMM show, and I did a quick video on it with the Helix, but then I sold that and bought the 8, because I saw so much more value in having the extra 2 switches for what I'm doing. And it's really a great product, because I actually use that for this Ecamm as well. So when I'm playing the guitar on Sundays, I can press a button on there, and it will show, for example, it will show this. So right now I'm doing this with the Stream Deck, but I can do all that from the Morningstar as well.
That's cool.
So it's really great, and it works with Boss Looper pedals, the Helix, and Logic. It works with absolutely everything, and they're a great company. They keep adding software and features as well. So MIDI can be a bit daunting to people. So have you? Okay, you can use it with the head brush.
I have absolutely never used MIDI. This is my first try at MIDI. I've been intimidated. I've been intimidated by it for years. I mean, it's 30 some odd years I've been playing, and I never touched MIDI. I got a couple of MIDI pedals there, like the MD200 and the headrush products here, and I want to pair it with the MX5 because I think it's going to unlock so much potential with the MX5 to be able to control it with the MC6. Seeing the way you can control it, it seems pretty impressive what you can do with it. So I want to pair it together. And the reason I got the 6 is because this with the 6 is a very small footprint. You can basically get like just a little pedal board, and that's it. It's a small little rig, something that's not too heavy to put in a bag and just grab with you as you go jam or whatever. So that's basically.
Your MIDI virgin, says Ian. Hey, there, Ian.
That's right, Ian. Hey, Ian. I am. You're gonna be working on that with me too. When we do some videos, we're gonna go live and do it together.
Are you talking to me or Ian?
No, to Ian.
Okay, good.
If you want to help me, that's.
I mean, sure. I like to go live at 9 o'clock on a Friday night, but to go live and talk about MIDI programming on 9 o'clock on a Friday night is a whole new level. Unfortunately, we were a bit late here. The sale was good, 309 down to 262. This is a blemish sale, which I've seen a few companies do. And they've sold out of some of them already. They've still got the MC6. Yeah. The MC6 is a cool pedal. It's a bit. This one you've got is a bit smaller. It comes with 2 MIDI pedals and 15% off for $195. That's a good deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do, however. I was trying to get it on their website, and they had sold out. And I ended up going on their Reverb because they have a store on Reverb also, Morningstar. And I ended up getting it on Reverb to be able to get it. But yeah, they sold out.
So with MIDI, I spent about 6 months talking with some people on Facebook about MIDI and trying to I got this whole thing about trying to get apps on my phone and control them via MIDI with these pedals. And I got so far into the rabbit hole. And then that's why I went out and bought some tube amps, because I got so... One day I just woke up and just thought, you know what? I'm spending my whole life trying to program these things, and then the app would crash and things like that. And I just got so frustrated. But I will say, there's some live streams of me on a Sunday where I made a board, which was basically like a singer-songwriter board with a looper and an HX stomp and some other things. And I controlled them all from the Morningstar. And it worked great for that. And that was a very cool... I thought it sounded great, that board. I kind of dismantled it since, but I watched those videos back and wish I hadn't. I think the Morningstar stuff of all the MIDI controllers is some of the best, and I really recommend it. The fact that it has that screen on there is awesome, isn't it?
It is. I like the fact that you can basically tell exactly where you're at and at all times. So yeah, absolutely.
There's one other one that I just got that I'll just show you. This is a cool pedal as well. Hang on. This is the Air Step. So it doesn't have the... It's dusty. It doesn't have the screens, which is a shame. Yeah. But it's super easy to program, and it has an app, and the app can program it, and then it kind of stores it. And what's good with this one is it will actually switch the channels on an amplifier as well. So if you do have a tube amp that has channels, it's got a regular jack out, which the Morningstar doesn't. So I really like this and the Morningstar for different reasons, but this is a really good one if you want just these switches and an app to control it. I think Morningstar, I've got a new one coming out next year with a color screen as well. I think that got delayed because of the pandemic and everything. And there's another company called Pirate Midi. Have you heard about them? They're basically doing the same thing, and they've got a color screen. I mean, the color screen doesn't really bother me on a MIDI pedal like that, but you know. And I like the fact it runs off the USB power. It's nice.
Without a screen similar to the one you just showed, I think there's Hot Tone has one also. That's, I think, relatively inexpensive.
Yes, but the Air Step is excellent because they've on the app on the phone they've made a bunch of presets, so you can literally just select like head rush, and they've like with the Kemper, they've already set it up so it's got the looper and everything. Hey Ian, thanks for subscribing. They've got the looper on there, so you can actually just control the looper from the Kemper without doing any programming. So
that's cool.
It's really impressed me. It's one of those pedals that I have around. I haven't really spoke about on the channel, but I use it all the time for everything. And then the Morningstar I use when I need to have the screens. Because I'll give you a cool thing I found with the Morningstar. What you can do, the way I set it up, is you have all these banks in there, and you can. And I'm sure you know you can edit it from the web browser, which is cool. Yeah. But I set mine up so that you see that E. Let me just show it on the screen. You see that E switch on the MC8 there. Oh, the E on the top left. I set that up as home. So if I press that, if I find that with my foot and press it any time and keep pressing it, that will take me home. And then I made F like, I'll just use some examples. F would be head rush, G would be looper, H would be Ecamm live, A would be lights, B would be helix. Yeah, I'm just using examples. So when you press them, it takes you to the next bank, which will give you all those settings. Okay. But E, I kept E as home, so wherever I am, I could press E and get back home again from anywhere. So
you can program it for multiple devices at the same time and just leave it programmed that way, and just that's pretty cool actually.
Yeah, when I made that board I mentioned, I had a Boss looper. So one page was looper, and it took me to those controls. And then I had the HX stomp. So one button was the HX stomp. It took me to those controls. And then another button was I bought a TC Helicon with MIDI. So that took me to those controls. But whenever I was playing, if I just felt where that top left switch was and kept pressing it, that would take me home. So I was always back in the same place again. Yeah, it's a really great pedal. I think everyone should own one of those Morningstar pedals for sure.
What was the learning curve for you? How did you find the learning curve on it when you were playing with it?
They have, like everyone else, they have a good Facebook page and everything like that, you know. It's pretty self-explanatory. They keep releasing new firmware, so make sure you're on the latest firmware. I can show you can I show the editor on the screen? Oh, you have to use Chrome, so I can't show it. But the editor looks a bit like this. Yeah, when you connect a device, it will say connected, and then you do all the editing here. It's really clever the way you can edit it from the browser, and they even have like a dictionary, so you choose the pedal, and they've already entered the commands, and they're I think it's two guys in that company, and they're very smart and they're very clever, and they're trying to make the whole MIDI thing easier, which is a good thing. I mean, they have to, because it is kind of intimidating. Remember when you were at school and they were talking about MIDI, and it just sounded like a science experiment, right? Maybe it still does.
From watching your videos on it and other people's videos on it, like I said, it's 30 some odd years I've been playing, and I was always intimidated by it. But having seen your videos and to see, it looked relatively logical, easy enough to pick up. So that's the reason that I'm trying it, basically. So yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I believe everyone... Oh, David, thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Appreciate all your efforts in our guitar and gear world. Thanks, David. Cheers. David is a really good supporter of the channel. Whenever I go live, he's there first. I don't know how he does it. Yeah. I think last week someone beat him. So, David, you might be slipping a little bit, my friend. Just kidding, buddy. No, I really appreciate that. Yeah, so what was I saying? I think everyone should own that MC8, and especially because you can use it for the, even like this, I can use it for this, Ecamm Live. It's great. Cool. It's like a multi-use pedal. Let's talk more about that in a little bit, because like I said, I went back to tube amps, but I currently have a Quad Cortex. I actually have some info on that pedal as well to share a little bit, but I want to show the thing that I was hinting at for Tone Wars next.
Awesome.
And I wish Poo Ninja was here, because he would have a space. He'd have a space shuttle if he saw this. Are you ready for this one? Hang on, let me just cue.
You've been holding off, man.
I don't think you'll be impressed, because you're now you're on the dark side of modeling now. So I don't know if you'll be impressed with this, but I think this is great, and this deserves a sound effect. So hang on. I'll see how impressed you are. Let's see your reaction. The Rev Generator 120 Mark III, the brand new one, $500 off.
That's a good savings, absolutely.
And free 2 Notes Tone Vault Dynamic IR collection worth $79. Now I know this really impressed me, because people were talking about it. Okay, the downside is they've sold out, but you can lock in this price, right? I knew Tone Wars would like it, because Tone Wars... I've just completely annoyed Tone Wars, because he bought one of these about 6 months ago. Sorry, buddy, I didn't know you'd be here. But let's face it, right? This is... Look. Sorry, buddy.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
I wish he was on the stream. He live streams too. You should check out his channel. I should have got him on here and showed it to him, because he would have had kittens if he saw that. $280 for that. So I haven't even played one, but I was talking with him about this. He reviewed it, and what it is basically it's 120 watt or whatever, 3 channels, independent channels with built-in IRs. You can plug it straight into front of house. What else has it got? It's got something else that I'm missing as well. I'm a bit it's got a noise gate built in. It's basically a super amp. It comes with a foot switch and a beanie. Nice. You need your Rev beanie and cover, and a little booklet that says you've got an original amp. But it's the only thing that puts me off ordering this right now is the size of it. Like, I'm trying to get gear that's smaller. Yeah. But I've heard such great things, and I want to talk about this and the modelers for a moment now, because I think people that are looking for like amps and modelers right now, this is a nice sweet spot. Just looking for the weight. £46, not bad. It's it's the head. You've still got to buy the cab. Yeah. But it's such a great hybrid, because it's a real 120 watt tube head. But you can also use it direct at the gig. You can record with it. It's got the built-in IRs and everything from 2 Notes. You can plug it into a cab and really rock out, because it's 120 watts. And everyone loves the Rev stuff, don't they? Everyone raves about how good Rev is.
Yeah.
And I don't know, the $3,200 is not cheap, especially plus tax. But 28 is for what you get here. I think is good. So where I'm at now, Francis, is I was really into the digital modeling stuff for years, and a lot of my channel was about making that stuff sound good and using that. And then I got more into tube amps the last kind of 12 months because I got a bit burnt out with the whole like menu diving and all that stuff, you know, and being disappointed quite a lot as well. And I got back into tube amps. Lately, I'm kind of in between the two, I have to admit. I was actually trying some stuff today that I'll talk about later, but something like this, I think, really interests me. The fact, because you've got those options, but you've got the plug and play of a tube amp, but you've also got the options of the 3 channels, which I kind of need. I like having the 3 independent channels myself. But what are your thoughts on this stuff? Have you used tube amps? Have you always used digital? I know you use the head rush now. So what?
I still have a tube amp here. I got my.
Okay, what have you got?
I got a Fender Blues Junior, or Junior Blues there. You know, I used to, for 26 years, I was using the bigger brother of that. I had the Hot Rod Deluxe, and the Hot Rod Deluxe. Basically, I preferred that one because it's got more headroom because I like to use pedals basically. But the Blues Junior sounds pretty good too. I do like tube amps. I used tube amps up until I got my head rush. The reason I got rid of my tube amp is because I got back problems, and lifting the Hot Rod Deluxe, it was too heavy for me. So I've been looking to lighten my load basically because I can't lift heavy equipment anymore basically. And I do like tube amps, but I noticed that having used over the last couple of years, I've been really fooling around with the Headrush products and stuff, and going into impulse responses with programs and modelers like this, I noticed that I can get my tone. The tone I was kind of getting out of, and I've been comparing back and forth for the last 2 years.
Me too.
Because honestly, I can't believe that I'm liking the modelers and stuff, because for forever I'm like, no, I was a tone snob. It's like, no, analog, tube, and that's it. But I am liking the modelers right now. What I don't like about modelers is kind of what you were saying. It's all the deep diving and the menu diving and all that, because I've gone back and forth multiple times, and it was always the menu systems. And the reason I like the Headrush is because I really do like their menu system. For me, it is the easiest menu system that exists. The touch screen, it's kind of like using an iPhone, and it's like, you double tap, it opens up your screen. It's like you're looking at a pedal and you can control it like an analog pedal. So for me, that's the reason that I'm sold on it. And the impulse responses makes the difference. If you have a good impulse response, it will sound good. I don't like the stock cabs in here, and the presets, forget about them. You got to start from scratch and build your own. You can get a good tone out of it. So if you're ready for that, that's the thing. You have to be ready for that.
I could talk about this for hours, and I won't today. But I think for me, what I found, I think, is the cab sim is really important. And then you have to be aware that it's not going to sound like a cab in the room. It's going to sound like a recording of a cab, or mic in front of a cab in the other room. That can be a bit of a shock. But I've definitely, I've done tests where I've thrown, I like the York Audio IRs, and I'm a fan of the Oxbox as well. And I think the secret of that Oxbox is the cabs are great, and they have 2 of them, and you get that stereo effect with 2 excellent cabs. I think the quality of the cabs is really important. I don't know. I was actually doing that today. I'll just tell you what I did today. Today, I got a cable for my Princeton that allowed me to plug the Quad Cortex into a power amp. I've been going through all the power amps, and I've been really disappointed with most of them. I made a video about how terrible they all were. But I just got the orange pedal baby. It's a kind of on the bigger side, but it's Class AB. I don't know if that's what makes the difference. It's Class AB, but I quite like it. I'm getting good results. And I plugged that into the speaker of the Princeton and loaded up a capture of a Princeton that comes with the Quad Cortex. And I played that and compared that to the actual, when I plugged the Princeton head or the cab into the actual amp of the Princeton. And they're really close. And I was like, okay, that's close enough for me. And that's quite a big deal because I don't usually get that result. So I just keep going back and forth. I'm kind of in a place now where I'm like, you know what, I've got a couple of really great tube amps, and I'm going to use them when I'm at home. But if I have to go and do a wedding band or something, I've got no problem taking like a Quad Cortex and the power amp and a really small cab, just for stage volume, and I don't like when people say just to get through the gig and the audience doesn't care. I don't like that. I don't want to have that attitude, but it's got to be practical. You know, you've got to be able to get your equipment to the gig. And I've always said to people, with me, I sing as well, so I have to take a PA system and the guitar rig, and that's no mean feat. You know, if you're just a guitar player, I'd have no problem taking like the Rev head we just looked at with a 212. I'd have no problem. But when you've got to take I usually take two 10-inch QSC speakers, two 8-inch QSC speakers, a bag of stands, a bag of cables that weighs as much as a speaker, and then I got to take the guitar rig as well. So I do have to compromise. And of course, the guitar's also going into that PA system and coming out of the main. So I actually feel like I've gotten pretty close. And I want to mention something about the Quad Cortex that I don't think people know. This is kind of cool. I've been buying a bit of stuff off Thomann lately. I also have the Thomann affiliate link in the description below, so please use it if you're going to buy from Thomann. But Thomann will ship to America. And I noticed today, and no one's mentioned it, that their Quad Cortex price has dropped. I don't know why. Right now it's 1759. Oh, you can't see it on the screen, but it's 1759, and that is less than it is here in America. And of course, there won't be the tax you pay in America. You have to pay the import duty. The import duty, I think, is about $50. So this is actually a good saving. You do have to wait 5 to 7 weeks, but I believe some places are having to wait longer than that anyway. So this is if you're interested in this product, this is actually a good place to get one. And what's happening right now is people are reselling these on Reverb at crazy prices. They are with lots of pedals right now. So don't do that. I mean, I don't want to get into that discussion, but the fact is, you can, if you're watching this, you're looking to buy one of these pedals, you can get it from this company and they will ship it. I'm a big supporter of Sweetwater as well, but this is also an option, and they will ship to the USA. So bear that in mind, and I think that's good. Because when they released this, it was actually about 16. It went up. They put the prices up during the lockdown, but this is the best price that I've seen it for, and I've not seen anyone talk about that. So I wanted to throw that in today as well. So yeah, I'm kind of all over the place. I think tomorrow I'll probably think something different, but I'm very happy lately to own like I think for me, a lot of it's in my mind. So if I have a tube amp and knowing that I can plug into it and just like check anytime that is what that sounds like, and then play the virtual one. And I think even then, no matter how good the digital stuff gets, in my brain, I'll always think, well, it's not a tube amp. I think that's just something in my brain. Yeah. But they are getting really good. And I had the MX5 as well. I don't have it anymore. But what I really liked about it was it's one of the few pedals that has the instant switching. So you can switch scenes and it doesn't have that dropout. Yeah. That, to me, that's really important. I also like the size. I think the touchscreen for me was a bit too small because I got big hands.
Well,
and they don't
I have the gig board here too, and you know,
okay.
it is a little small on the MX5, but this is going to be my to-go board. So basically, once it's all programmed, I don't want to have to touch it with my fingers. So what I keep here in the studio is the gig board with the bigger screen. So yeah, I understand that. That's true.
Can you make a preset on the gig board and then load it into the MX5?
Yes.
So that's cool.
Yes,
so you've got that. Yeah. I think if I owned the full big head rush, I would have no problem with the MX5 because I just make the preset on that and load it into MX5 as like my to-go rig. But for me, like to edit it on the device, I don't know. I like this one because it's got the bigger touch screen here, you know. So it's just easy to use. And I mean, they haven't made an editor yet, but they're going to, supposedly. And if they do, that'll be very easy.
Speaking of which, head rush, because when I made my first video of the MX5, they had made a comment. I've seen some threads going back and forth between head rush and some people, and it looks like they might be working on a computer editor as well.
Okay. I mean, so you know, I think every pedal should have a computer editor, and I think they should all have iPad apps as well. You know, Kemper made an iPad app for the Kemper stage. Yeah, so everyone kind of laughs at Kemper that it's so old and antiquated, but they made an iPad. They're the only company that has an iPad app that you can actually put on your mic stand while you're playing and make changes. So you got to give them credit for that, you know. Like I said, that's a whole nother conversation. But I definitely think it's all getting better. And You know, I see people in the chat now talking about tube amps. Hey, I love tube amps, and if I had roadies, I'd use them all the time. But I think the digital is great for recording as well. I think that all has its place, and I love the flexibility of the digital. Like, you can program every patch to be exactly what you want, whereas with a tube amp, sometimes you think, oh, there's something missing, or I need to add a pedal or something. I think they're both great. I know like Tone Wars likes to use them both together. I don't really do that. I use kind of one or the other. I don't know, but the stuff I own now, I'm very happy with. And I remember I spent a few years just being really frustrated with all of it, just thinking it all sounded terrible. And these days I'm much more happy with the. So right now I have the Quad Cortex. I've still got my Helix. I don't know if I'll keep it. I've got the big one that's just really big and heavy, like the Headrush board is. And then I've got the HX Stomp, which is on my analog board, and I use native, so I don't really need the Helix. And I got the Quad Cortex, which I like, but they need to add more features to it, like a looper and stuff. Actually, I had a problem with the MX5 looper because it wasn't starting on the beat, but I think Dr. McFarlane said they just fixed that in a software update. That's good. It's good that they're making improvements all the time. Yeah, hey, all this competition is good for the customer, right? They're all pushing each other.
It is, I got to tell you, every time there's an update, it just keeps getting better and better. Because since I bought my gig board 2 years ago, with the last 3 updates, it is way better than when I initially bought it. I'm much happier with it now than I was then.
The only problem I have with the whole update thing is some companies now are releasing products that aren't even finished, and you could argue that the Quad Cortex is in that cat. I don't think it is, because I bought it as like an amp replacement, and that's what it is. I do wish it had an editor and the looper and a few of the features they mentioned it would have that it doesn't have. But I'm happy with my purchase. But I've got a few pedals in the closet behind me that I don't use because I feel they're so early, and I'm waiting for firmware updates to kind of finish them off. And I think that's the downside of firmware, when companies now just release stuff and say, "Oh, we'll fix it later." I think that's not good for the customer, because we can buy stuff that's not finished, But yeah, I mean, I didn't feel that with the MX5. I found that little bug. They fixed it within 2 months. I think that's great. I think they're a good company, and I take my hat off to Headrush because they're doing things like the looper board. They're trying to do like different stuff. They're not just doing guitar amp stuff. I think that's cool. All right, so Toontrack is next, and again, I don't know who Toontrack are.
It's Easy Drummer.
Oh yes, no, I hear about that a lot. So
I want to say hi to Tool Spiral in the chat there. That's one of my friends, a local friend. He's a bass player, and he's got a full analog board. And so, yeah, I understand that people do go back to analog, but I've done it back and forth quite a few times. And I didn't get rid of my analog because I keep both right now. So
yeah.
But yeah.
And I don't disagree either. I think if he just tuned in and saw what I said, no, I the truth is I keep going between the two. I think I always will. And I just try to use each one to their strength, But I do think all the stuff is getting better. But what I love about the tube amp is if you buy a great tube amp, you probably have it the rest of your life, right? They just last forever, which is cool.
That's true.
So I've heard about this. Drummer software. So tell me more about it.
Well, Toontrack is the company that makes Easy Drummer, Easy Drummer 2, Superior Drummer. They have Easy Bass, Easy Keys. They got Easy Mix 2. They have a lot of stuff there. I use Easy Drummer right now. Easy Drummer 2 for my drum tracks when I'm programming them, when I'm not using an actual drummer. And they sound great. Now, I bought Easy Drummer 2 instead of Superior Drummer, which is the new version of it, because of the fact that Easy Drummer 2 is actually lighter on the CPU, so it kind of doesn't overload your computer when you're using it. And look at the price. It's
I know. I just saw that.
I paid it the full price, and when you look at the price right now, it is a great deal right now. When I was searching when you asked me to look for some deals and stuff, I've been finding most of the deals in the software. You get really good pricing.
Me too.
And what I've been looking at, because I'm considering maybe buying some more, like expanding my drum software, is the Midi packs. Because once you have a bunch of Midi packs, you can really program the drums to your song. You can cater to what you're looking for, and this sounds fantastic. I was using another program before, but these drums sound really good. So I use that. I also have Easy Mix, which I find cool. I didn't try the easy bass and some of the other stuff, but the drums in this are fantastic, and it's really easy to program. I have to tell you that it's easy to program. It sounds good. If you're making music, this is good. Like if you don't have a drummer, this is fantastic.
$100 off.
The price.
Wow.
It's phenomenal. This is a deal. This is a deal.
I use something called Band in the Box. They're in Canada actually, and that will generate me drum tracks and bass tracks that I can load into Logic. But I was actually thinking the other day something like this and the bass one would be even better for what I'm doing, right?
Honestly, this is fantastic. And if you look, what I bought as an expansion kit, the one that you saw on top, the hip hop one, is I got that kit because in that kit you also have a lot of extra percussion stuff. If you look, you got like gyros and you got like, some shakers and all sorts of stuff. So there's a lot of cool little features there. If you want to add like little extra percussions to your songs and stuff, it's really cool. So it's nice. It's a really nice drum program, honestly.
And you know what, we can tie all this together because like the Morningstar pedal, I use that with like the Boss Looper. The Boss Looper lets you import loops. So you could take one of these drum loops or percussion loops, load it into that Boss Looper, and then trigger it with the MC8 and play along to it. And you can do that with the Headrush too. In fact, that's one thing that impressed me with the Headrush MX5. It will load audio loops into it. That's really cool. Yeah. That is so ususeful. That's a killer feature.
Had you seen my video on that? I had done a video where I had loaded some songs in there and then play with them. And because the thing is, if you load a song or a partial song like a drum beat, then you can still use the looper and add your layers on top of it, which is pretty cool. So
yeah, and it remembers it too, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So the only thing with this then is, can you buy everything? Because that's one of these things where you buy one and they sell you another pack, another pack, another pack, another pack, right?
Well, they have some bundle deals. If you look, I don't know where, at the bottom of the page, I think if you go down, there's bundle deals where you can buy like a 6-pack or an 8-pack of the different drum tracks and MIDI files and whatever.
And there's easy keys. Okay, so I could get easy keys, easy drums, easy bass, and basically make backing tracks, right? Yeah.
Everything you can do, and the mix too. And I have to admit that the mix sounds good because you actually have amps in there too and stuff. Like if you're looking for like a sim, like for amps, for bass or whatever, it's all there. You got it there.
Yeah, I've heard good things about it. I'd like to see the bass one as well. Because at the end of the day, if you can get a great drum and bass track going and use a plugin over the top of it.
Yeah.
Plugins are great for recording because you can reamp it and change things after the fact, can't you? Yeah. So, yeah, actually, I will look into this later.
What's nice with this is that if you want to hear what each pack sounds like, on their page, you actually have sound samples. They put like 10 samples, and you get some that are in the mix, some that are not. So you get to hear what it sounds like before you buy it. So it gives you an idea of which one you would be interested in.
Something... Like, I do a lot of acoustic shows, and I'm always looking for, like, really good percussion loops. I find them hard to find. I wonder if they have, like, a percussion pack with really tasteful loops.
They do. They have, I forget what it was. It was just percussion stuff. They have, like, Latin packages and stuff. They have a lot of stuff that's just percussions and bongos and stuff. They have all sorts of packs. If you find the one that fits for you, I'm sure you'll find something that works for you.
So look at this. So you just type in the chord and the time signature, and it makes a bass line for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I actually had an app like this when I was doing the MIDI stuff on the apps. I had an app for bass and drums that did this stuff. And it was great, but it was a bit fiddly on the apps, and I think this would be even better on the computer. Yeah, I'd like to try it. I'm sure there's a trial too, right? You can try it for a few hours before you.
Yes, you can get a trial. It's I think the trial lasts for 15 days or something like that. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I have heard that a lot. Around the internet, and I've been thinking about it. Like I said, I use Band in the Box, which is really cool. You just type in the progression, and it gives you a backing track with like guitar, bass, drums, violin, whatever you want, all different styles. Mm-hmm. It's an older program, so a little bit clunky these days, but it still works great, and you can load those tracks into Logic and then edit them. So I'm going to release a song next week with Peter Gregg, and you'll hear that on there. But I think this is like next level stuff. This is like more modern, and I haven't tried it. I won't say it's better, but it's definitely a more modern kind of implementation. So that's cool. But I want to try it right now. Let's make a track. All right. So let me find my next one. Yeah, that's cool. I'm glad you've got stuff here that I'm not so familiar with too. That's cool.
Well,
I'm
I
discovering new
trying
stuff.
to find stuff that's different because I mean we all look at guitars and stuff, and we're going to look at some, I'm sure. But it's just
Yeah.
I was trying to think out of the box and also try and find the best deals. And I know that right now when they have specials like this,
Yeah.
you find some decent deals on gear, but you find better deals on software. I find.
Yeah, like the Ecamm. Like that. So
Yeah.
Ecamm's doing 40% off, but Martin Guitar will not do 40%. You know, we laughed about it earlier with Lee. Martin Guitar are not going to do 40% off a Martin Guitar. I mean, A, they don't need to because they're all sold out after the pandemic or well, you know, lockdown, whatever you want to say. But they're also just not the kind of company that do things like that. Having said that, I haven't covered Taylor much on my channel. I'm going to at some point, but Taylor have a deal, and they had a deal similar to this during the start of lockdown, where you bought a guitar and I think you got another guitar free. This isn't quite like that, but they have something similar. Like, check this deal out on these Taylor guitars. So if you buy this guitar on the left, which is one of the newer guitars, it's called the Urban Ash, then you can buy the Baby Taylor for $100.
Wow, that's actually pretty cool.
It's interesting. I think the deal was better in lockdown. They did something like you could buy a GS, or you got a GS Mini free, or that was $100. And I think the GS Mini is a better guitar. I say better, you know. I mean, the Baby Taylor is good for like a beginner. I'm not saying it's a bad guitar, but I would rather have a GS Mini than this Baby Taylor. So I guess a good question we could discuss then is that worth, well, okay, let's say you wanted to buy this guitar on the left, okay? You've been looking at getting one. And they have this deal, and they say, well, for another $100, you can have the guitar on the right. Okay, what if you didn't want the guitar on the right, and that's another $100? Is it worth doing that deal and getting that extra guitar when you might not actually use it, and it might just sit in the closet? Is that a good deal or not?
It might be, because I mean, what does a Baby Taylor sell for? I mean, you might be able to sell it later on.
Let's have a look. The Baby Taylor is $379. So you're right. You could easily sell that on for at least $200, right? Brand new.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. And there's also, look, there's a Taylor Swift. How about that? Taylor Swift's signature guitar is a Baby Taylor. I guess it makes sense because her name is Taylor and Taylor. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that is a good deal. I think it's only on that particular model though. You have to be shopping for that Taylor. It's not on any Taylor. It's only on the Urban Ash GT body. So that does make a difference. And I haven't even tried those guitars. I'm not sure what they're like, but that's the only deal I've really seen. That there are a few others. There was one I saw today where you buy a guitar that's like $700, you get $200 back, gift card from Sweetwater, like bonus bucks. They do it, like I said, they're doing that a lot. The only one I've seen like this is this one from Taylor, where they're actually giving you like another guitar on top of the first one. Lewis is here, says, "We back, baby. Good to see you, buddy. Happy Thanksgiving." Lewis is in Canada too.
Cool.
Yeah,
Very cool.
I can't remember where he is, but I'm sure he'll tell us in the chat. Yeah, have you seen any other guitar? I mean, guitars have been so out of stock for so long. I feel like they don't need to do it, and I don't think you often see deals on guitars this time of year anyway. Not really. Like you said, it's mostly software, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I mean, I was looking at Long and McQuaid. You know, it's the shop in Canada here. And I was trying to see what they had on sale, guitar-wise. I mean, they had a couple of Les Pauls that were a couple of $100 off here and there. But, I mean, there was nothing that yeah, if you click on just click on the Black Friday, you scroll to the bottom and you can go through all the stuff. I think there's like a red Les Paul. There's a couple of...
Oh, so there's one.
Yeah.
That's on. This Epiphone's on sale.
Yeah, I mean, it's $100 off. I mean, it's still it's good. It's reasonable. I mean, it's.
The thing is, if it wasn't Black Friday, don't you think you could call them up and get $50 off that anyway, if you asked them?
I mean, these are not. I've seen better deals because what Long and McQuaid does is they have like a Gibson month, a Fender month, a Taylor month, and when you have those promos, you get better deals than with the Black Friday. What I'm seeing, they're doing it basically not to lose sales online to retailers that are in the U.S. and stuff. That's basically it. But I mean,
Oh, I see. I see.
That's why they do some Black Friday deals here, is because a lot of people, we were just driving across the border and we were buying our stuff across the border, basically. So they started doing it here to keep the sales here, basically.
Lee says Taylors just don't look as nicely crafted as other makes like Martin. I don't know if I agree with that, Lee. I think the quality of construction on the higher end models is excellent. I'd even say it rivals Martin. Now the sound is different. They use different bracing and things like that. But let me just show you a higher end Taylor. Just I want to get his thoughts. But check this out.
There's one Taylor that I really I've been dying to get, and I'm waiting for it to get a real good deal on it. But that's really nice, man. That's beautiful.
I've never played one of these. I've always looked at them. But I mean, look at the, I don't.
Nice, yeah.
I think the quality of these is up there. Some people say these are like the Sir of acoustic guitars. I think that's a good analogy. I do like the way they show you different pictures on here, and the weight as well. It's nice.
Yeah.
But they've got 4 of these right now.
That's nice. The model I was looking at is the full Koa model. That's the one that really gets me. I
love
the look of the full, with the Koa top and the Koa back and sides. It's amazing.
See, which number is that? Is it the Builder's Edition?
Well, I mean, I'd love to go into the higher end stuff, but that's not probably in my budget. I was looking at the CE224, which is a solid top and layered back and sides, which is way more affordable. Yeah, they're where is it? No.
These are like the
those are the full. I think those are the complete solid construction ones. They have one that's just a solid top, and the back and sides are layered. That's probably half that price, but they're really nice.
These are the builders. These are the builders editions. I just wanted to show Lee that this is why I don't really agree with what he's saying, because I mean look at the inlay work on here.
kind of like a D28 type of inlays and stuff. That's nice.
Oh yeah, like, look at that. That's very extravagant. Yeah. Look at the back on that.
That's very nice. Yeah.
The quality is excellent. Yeah, I've never played one yet. I haven't looked for them, but I've never picked one up yet at a NAMM show or a store that's blown me away sonically. Well, maybe a couple, but I've not really spent time with them. But I do think the quality is excellent. For sure.
The one thing I have to say is I've rented some Taylors, like you were talking about the GS Mini and stuff, and my cousin has, I have a couple of cousins that have some Taylors, and I've owned the Martin also, but it's the neck profile. For me, the Taylor neck profile really agrees with my hand, and you got to be comfortable when you're playing your guitar. There you go. That's the model right there.
Oh, this one?
$16.99. No, the one next to it. That one there.
224.
Yeah, that's the one I was looking at. Yeah, that's nice.
The 114 and the 214s are laminate back and sides, and they're the more affordable ones. But I've played some of those in stores that I thought sounded excellent, and I read online it's because they don't have the same bracing as the standard models, or they don't have bracing at all. They resonate more, so they can actually. There are times when the more affordable guitars are actually worth considering over the higher end ones for the sound as well. And I think with Taylor, I've noticed that. I mean, look, this thing looks great, actually. It looks really beautiful. Nice. Look at that.
I'm just waiting to get a deal on one. It never goes on special. I've never seen it. The moment I see it go on special, I will probably jump on it. But I have not seen it go on special yet.
That does look really nice. It's interesting to see the stock as well, isn't it? They've got a lot of these guitars are in stock now, which is good. Yeah. Let's to balance things out for our Martin fans. Let's go to Martin as well. See what they got. But obviously, there's no deals on this kind of stuff because these guitars have been sold out anyway for so long.
That's right.
Like if we go to something like a OM28, I bet that's still sold out. Yeah. Oh, in stock, but hasn't gone through inspection yet. Yeah.
That's nice.
I know. With the neck shape, right now I prefer the Martin neck shape, but I often think with gear, it's what we get used to. I'm so used to playing Martins that I'm used to that neck. So if I pick up a Taylor, it's going to feel a bit alien to me, because I'm just not used to it. But they do feel nice.
They are nice. I'm not saying that they're not nice. My issue is actually with age, I'm starting to develop arthritis in my hands. And I'm noticing that certain neck profiles are not agreeing with me anymore. I got some of my guitars, like I got my Strat that I've owned for the last 20 some odd years. the neck profile doesn't seem to be agreeing with me anymore. But yet some of my chunkier necks feel better on the hand, you know. So it's really more right now. I'm searching more for stuff that makes me comfortable, so I can play longer, basically. So
I'm just looking here. It looks like they've just got a load of guitars in. They're not on the site yet. I'll give Maury, if you're in the USA, check out Maury's music. He's got loads of guitars in Martin guitars in stock right now, and he's got all the pictures up. It looks like Sweetwater. I still sold out one a lot, but I definitely get the impression that guitars are getting more readily available than they were, and that's a good thing. I mean, it had to catch up eventually, didn't it? And that's a good thing. Lee says, nice guitars, but I think it's the handmade look with the Martins I like so much. Probably why I like the 28 series and above. Yeah, I have. For me, it's not one versus the other. You know, I don't. But these days with Facebook groups, we get a lot of like Headrush versus Helix and Kemper versus Quad Cortex and Martin versus Taylor and Fender versus Sir and Gibson versus Fender. I don't really buy into that. For me, a good guitar is a good guitar. I've invested more of my time in Martin, so I know what I like and I've figured it all out. I never spent time with Taylors. You know, with any brand, there's guitars that I like and guitars that I don't. You have to find the guitars in that brand that work for you. But that's, you know, that'll be something I investigate in the future. Get a Warmoth neck for your Stratocaster, says Beamer.
I thought about that, and I'm still thinking about that because I actually like the roasted maple necks. And at Warmoth, they have nice roasted maple neck with the rosewood fretboard. And I know you were talking about it with Maury, I think, the other week about rosewood fretboards. And I realized I like rosewood fretboards because I do like that resistance. You were talking about a resistance that it has and everything.
I like the fingerboard. I like the look of the rosewood. I just played one of these in Guitar Center. This is a great guitar for the money. And look, this is a good way to get good deals. Like they have this demo model here and they have the pictures of it. So this is great. 926 demo model, and you can see it shows you where the damage is. Look.
Yeah.
This is basically a guitar they've either demoed on their channel or someone's bought it and returned it. And it does if this, I always look at these pictures and think, if someone bought this and returned it, what were they doing with it? Like, why has it got all these dings all over it? They're like throwing it around the stage or something. But yeah, you can save money by doing that. But I don't love the finishes on these new models, but I played one at Guitar Center. Those pickups are excellent, and they sound really good for noiseless pickups. Like they really were good, and the guitar feels really good. So talking about getting good guitars for the price now, for $1,000, I think these are Fender. I mean, I think Fender doing some great things these days. This is a great thing.
Well, I don't know. Speaking of Fender, I don't know if you've seen it, but the Player Series Acoustasonic.
Yes.
I was looking at that. I actually went to try an Acoustasonic yesterday at the shop near my house, and honestly, it feels really good in the hand, and it's a very nice guitar.
Because it feels like a electric, basically.
Yes. Yeah.
I've been looking at these for a long time, but they're always out of stock. The Ultra Fenders. I love that blue. I love that finish.
I had picked up a Telecaster in that finish, the Ultra. It was such a beautiful Telecaster. Yeah, that's nice. That's very nice.
The Acoustasonic is great, and I'm sure people love them that play electric guitar because they're used. You know, if someone like Tone Wars, who always plays electric, picked up an HD28, he's going to feel really weird holding that guitar. So if he played one of these, as much as people give these kind of a hard time, if he picked up one of the, and he's not a Strat person either, to be fair, right? He plays Ernie Ball, but my point is, if you play a lot of Telecaster and you never play acoustic and you pick up one of these, it's not going to feel so different, and that's why they're appealing. But this is interesting. I haven't tried these ones yet. These the Mexican-made ones. I quite like the blonde one, but you see what they've done here? 1,200 versus 2,000 for the USA one.
That's right. Big difference.
But is it? Because you could find someone was selling this guitar here on a forum the other day for about 1,300.
Well, if you could find it at that price, it's a good deal. The difference is between the U.S. and the Mexico. I don't know if you. The main differences are the U.S. one has an extra microphone that's on the inside, basically on the soundboard. Yeah. And so you get a little bit of extra tone there, like the
you can do the tapping.
Yes, you can do the tapping as well. the fretboard is ebony on the US one versus the Mexico one is rosewood. For
Yep.
me, though, I prefer rosewood. So for me, I would actually like the neck. And the battery pack on the back, the Player Series Mexico, it's actually a battery, and this one you can recharge it. Which, to me, I prefer having a battery, because in case something goes down, I don't want to wait to charge it. You know, if you're performing, I'd rather just switch the battery out. You know, that's just me, my preference. But I mean,
I don't disagree. I don't disagree. And I've played a few Mexican Strats last few years that are excellent. I'd say they're construction-wise, some ones I've played are even better than USA ones, to be fair. But of course, a lot of people want to buy the USA ones, which is fine. I just think right now it's tough because if you can find, like I saw a mint USA Acoustasonic for $1,300, and you're getting that additional pickup. And I do use that pickup for what I do, for the drumming, the beats on the guitar. So I think right now I'd be looking for a used American Acoustasonic. It'll be interesting when the Mexican ones are on the used market and you can get one of those for $700. Then everyone's going to snap them up and you're going to see them everywhere. So I do think that's what's going to happen. I think we're in that kind of in-between period right now. The battery thing, I don't know. I think you're right. I think if you're at a gig and your battery dies, of course, just throwing in a new 9-volt battery is better than having to recharge. If you have to recharge, you're going to have to wait an hour for it to charge enough to do the... Actually, no, you don't. You can plug in the cable and use it plugged in. Because I have one of these. I have the Strat. You can use it plugged in. So you can just carry a cable with you. And it's... I'm kind of on the fence. I feel like with the replaceable batteries, you've either got to get rechargeables or spend money on batteries. But with the rechargeable, you've got to make sure you recharge it, blah, 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 blah. It's I don't know. It'll be interesting to see on the next American ones if they go with the battery or the rechargeable battery, won't it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know which one I would get now if I was buying one now. And I don't know which body shape I'd get either. I do like the Tele body. I'm not sure about the, what's the other one they do?
The Jaguar or...
Yeah,
the
Jazzmaster. I'm not sure. They look they're a bit too out there for me.
That shape, I don't know how comfortable I'd feel playing it, but the thing is one thing they were saying is that I think it resonates a little more because there's more of a surface.
Yeah. I like the yellow one, the blonde one.
Yeah, that's a very nice color.
And there is actually a deal here, isn't there? Does it say 10% back in bonus bucks, up to $100 on qualifying purchases when you use your Sweetwater credit card. So, again, I don't suggest you get credit cards just to do stuff like that, but there is some kind of offer there. And like I said, always check on these sites because a lot of people, when they release a new guitar, like a new model like this, a lot of people buy them and then return them, and then you can buy the one they return for a cheaper price. That's how Sweetwater do their business model. I think it's a good way to do it. I like the way they do that. But yeah, I mean, the construction looks the same, doesn't it? The quality of the neck and everything.
Identical. And apparently the dimensions are identical, which is basically why I went to try the one that they had a US one at the shop near my house. I wanted to see how it felt because I'm really curious. The Player Series isn't out in stores yet. I mean, they haven't been able to supply it yet, so I'm waiting for it to come in. Yeah.
They're cool. They're still polarizing guitars, and they're still niche. And I still, if we're talking honestly now tonight, I still want them to do more. You know, like the Variax that was released 10 years ago. That thing does sitar, tuning, alternate tunings, acoustic, electric. It was so ahead of its time. It's nuts. And I just heard about. I'm actually looking for a used one right now. I was watching Phil McKnight last week, and I heard about Fender made a modeling guitar with Roland. You ever see those?
No, I didn't.
It's called the Fender what is it? Let's see if I can find it. And it's basically the same as the Variax. With the Variax, you could plug it into like a Helix and control all the tunings from the Helix. The Fender didn't do that stuff. But what it did was it had, it was that similar kind of idea. And it had the battery. It also had a cool feature where if the battery dies, you get the sound of the undersaddle piezo pickup, which is nice. Let me see, let's find this.
Was it the Fenders that had those cards that you would load in? Because they had some that you had some cards, sound cards that you would load
For the
in.
pickups, yeah. No, it wasn't that one, but okay. You're right. They did that as well. Oh, someone tell me in the chat what that's called. The Fender V something, the V something, VV. I'm gonna find it because I think they released that like 10 years ago or more, and I think that was more adventurous than the Acoustasonic in a way. Oh, I can't find it. I'm actually curious to know if anyone in the chat knows what I'm talking about. I can find it in my history here. I just had a good lead on one.
Fender V digital guitar? Is that what it's called?
I think that's what it is. Hang on.
No, it says Fender Mustang V digital.
It's the VG Stratocaster. Let me show it to you, and I'll just show you this. This is why I think I often speak in my channel that companies are kind of not as adventurous as they used to be, and I really believe that, because if you look at this thing here, let me just get some pictures of it. I want to show on the screen the pictures. Okay, here's a used one on Reverb. No, actually, that's not good. Hang on. Okay, this is it. This is it. Okay. Okay, look, this is the guitar. I'm going to put it on the screen. So it basically looks like a Fender American Strat, and they made the Mexican version as well. But I love stuff like this. I love stuff that looks traditional, but has all that stuff in it. Now with the Acoustasonic, it looks modern, right? But it has like the acoustic and electric voices, and I think they deliberately made it simple, because one of the guys that designed that guitar, I think, worked at Line 6 back in the Variax days, and he made the T5 with Taylor. But I think with the Acoustasonic, they deliberately wanted to make it simple. They didn't want it to have an editor. They didn't want it to have like a way to disable and switches and, you know, things, trim pots and things. They didn't want that. They wanted it to be plug and play, which it is, but in return, obviously, you lose some functionality. With this guitar, it was the same. There was no editor like the Variax had, but you've got the alternate tunings. You've got an acoustic mode that has the tone control becomes a reverb. You've got just the plain pickups of the guitar, and then there's another switch, which is the modeled version of the pickups, where you can use the alternate tunings. And you can see, if you look at the bridge there, you can see that Roland saddle. That's the saddle that you can buy and install yourself. But it was all built into the guitar. But, you know, they made them for 2 years and they discontinued them. Why is that? I guess people didn't buy them. But I think they were just ahead of their time. I feel like if they made something like this now, they'd sell a lot of them, like they are with the Acoustasonics. I think they released these way too early. Like 10 years ago, I don't think people were ready for this stuff. It was also so... Yeah. We weren't in that digital headspace, were we? Like we are now.
No. We weren't ready for it. I could tell you right now, I wasn't ready for it at that time. Now, saddles like that, you know who makes a saddle that's like that, where you can actually use it like a mic, basically? I don't know if you're familiar with Graphtech. Yes. Graphtech, they do 6 individual ones. Yeah. Yeah, because there's Godin. They're in Canada. Godin make guitars with the MIDI pickup, so you can use a Roland synth with. But with this guitar, all the synth stuff is built in. So what's really cool is that if you turn the knob, you get like your humbucker sound. If you turn the knob, you get your telly sound. You turn the knob, you get a Strat sound. You can do different tunings. It's interesting. It doesn't do a half step down like the Hendrix tuning, but it does drop D, open G, dadgad, baritone. I'm just looking at the screen there. And then it's got the acoustic sounds. So with something like a Quad Cortex or your Head Rush, you could have a patch which is acoustic, and that would just be acoustic sound. And then you could have... So I just think for someone that wants something like a Head Rush or a Kemper, something like this would still look traditional, but give you those other sounds from the guitar, as well as the amps that you get from the pedal. So I don't know. I just want companies to do more stuff. I want to be even more adventurous than they are with the Acoustasonic. And again, I take my hat off to Fender. At least they're doing something like the Acoustasonic. At least they're trying to do something different. Because so many companies are just trying to recreate the guitar amp all the time, aren't they?
They're not doing different, like really different things.
Yeah.
So I think it's great, and I want to see more. I want the Acoustasonic to do even more stuff than it does now in the future versions. I can't wait to see what they do with it. Well, we catch up on the chat
There's a lot
here.
of potential. There's a lot of potential.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's interesting you're looking at them. I wonder if you'll make the move.
We'll see. I don't know. I was discussing with the shop guy. I actually have some equipment to trade in and stuff, so I might do a trade and pick up the Acoustasonic.
They are cool. They are good. I mean, they're good for what they are. You know, if you want to use it with your head rush and use the looper and everything, there's nothing else like it. It's great. But they just get such a hard time from people online, don't they? Like people really just don't. They just like to beat up on them. Bimo said the best Sweetwater deals are always after Christmas, the end of the model year. I once had a border guard. I once had a border guard. How I got that price on my LP. Typo. I got my American Fender Precision Les Paul Standard and my HD20 Retro across the border. Oh, interesting. Lee says, nice guitars. I think it's the handmade look with Martins I like. Yeah, I like traditional. That's why I like Fender. But I know Taylor is something for me that I need to investigate. Bimo says, did that one. Sweetwater credit only available to USA residents. That's right. Bimo, are you in Canada? I think you are. We got all the Canadians here tonight. Yeah. Bimo, same with their contests. Oh, that's a shame. They're always doing contests at Sweetwater. Lee says the American Acoustasonic is $159.49 in the UK.
Yeah.
You're paying for the R&D. You're paying for Fishman's R&D with that guitar. Bimo, are there any cats in padded pedal room?
Any cats?
Yeah.
Like an actual cat? I'm allergic to cats, so no.
So obviously not. All right. Let me see where we are. I've lost my place. What was the last thing we did? We got on a tangent there. I did Taylor, and you did Toontrack.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I got my next one. My next one is also software. And it's something we've been talking about. And something I almost bought today. I'm actually trying not to buy stuff, right? I'm trying to... Because I bought a lot of stuff, especially a lot of used stuff in the lockdown. And I'm trying to review it on the channel, make videos about it, get content from it, and sell it. I'm trying to cut back now. I don't want to keep adding stuff. You know, I've got too much I've got too many ways of amplifying my electric guitar already. But having said that, I was looking at these, like this is Neural again, and this is their plugins. Have you tried their plugins?
I have a few of their plugins. Yes.
Oh, you do? So I've only tried them briefly. So what do you think? People love these
Nolly, I got the Corey Wong.
Ah.
I have the Dark Glass for bass, and they're good. They're very good. It's like you can get some really interesting sounds, and they are very good. I have nothing bad I can say about them. Just for my sound, I've been getting my sounds with other things right now. So you got to get used to something. Once you get used to it, you probably could find your sound.
Yeah.
What I like about the Corey Wong has some really nice clean tones in it. Because sometimes it's about finding clean tones. A lot of these have great, dirty tones, but the clean stuff, the Corey Wong really has some nice clean stuff.
No, I like the. I don't know if I like the way they do their interfaces with the plugins. I guess I'm not used to it. I'm used to using like the Helix plugin with the sliders on the screen, but everyone just raves about the sound. And I've got the Quad Cortex, and they are going to allow you to use these plugins if you buy them in the Quad Cortex. So that would be cool. Let's say I bought this plugin here on the screen and dialed it in for the sound to record with. In the future, they'll let me add that to my Quad Cortex and take it on the road. So that's really nice. And that's actually the main reason I would buy some of these, to use them in the future. Having said that, I've already got some sounds that I love on my Quad Cortex that I could use tomorrow for a gig. So I don't want to go down the rabbit hole of like buying millions of amp sims and plugins that I just never use just because they're on sale. And I think that's the danger, right?
What's nice with this, though, because I have a bunch of Celestion IRs that I load into my headrush stuff, and I like the Celestion IRs. I actually loaded my Celestion IRs in these VSTs. You can load up your own IRs in like the Corey Wong, or I have the Nolly. Nolly is a nice package, too. If you look at the Nolly, it's a very nice pack. The one thing that I didn't like is the fact that I didn't find they had enough modulation. I'm somebody who likes to use a lot of modulation pedals. And like some packs only have chorus, or they don't have all the modulations. Some of these packs. But
Each pack
they
has a
do-
different a different set of effects, don't they?
Yes,
like this one.
Exactly.
This one has a harmonizer. So I guess, yeah, this one, the multi-voicer. So it's a harmonizer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just, I spent $1,800 on the Quad Cortex. I don't really want to go out and buy their plugins as well. With the Helix, you could buy the plug-in version of the Helix for like $100, $200 or $100. I think that's fair. I don't really, I think I'm a bit old-fashioned maybe, but I want to buy the pedal, and I want it to have the sounds in there that I like and use them. And I don't know. For me, the pedal has to sound good as it is. Like if you buy a Kemper, you have to find a few profiles that work for you to start with, and then you can add the other ones in you want. But I'm worried that one day you're going to buy a pedal that's completely empty, and then you have to go online and buy all your plugins and presets. I can see that happening. But maybe I just sound, maybe I sound like complaining or an old man or something. But I don't know. I think these prices are good. The fact they're 50% off is good. And I did that.
Good. The one I really
great.
liked was the bass one. The dark glass one for Nolly. That's the one. That's one of the ones I have. The Nolly one, it really does sound great. And I have somebody in our community who really, he plays semi-professionally, I would say. He swears by the Nolly, and I have to admit it does sound good. It's a more balanced one, I find, and it you got good cleans and good crunches in there. It sounds pretty good.
You see, I like that it has clean, crunch, rhythm and lead, and compressor, overdrive, delay, and overdrive too. It's got everything that you need, and you could program this with your MC6, and you could basically have a rig and an EQ as well.
Cool.
Oh, and delay and reverb. This is a whole rig.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's everything. The only thing that bothered me was that it didn't have modulation, because I really like modulation. But the rest of it, it sounds phenomenal. It really does sound good.
It'll be interesting if you own a Quad Cortex and buy this. It'll be interesting to see if they let you use like the compressor from this and the phaser from the other one and the harmonizer from the other one, and just like make your Quad Cortex even more kind of like powerful. I'd be interested to see if they do that. But yeah, I don't know. You know what? I might do the demos of some of these when I got time and just play them. I use the Pete Thorne PT100 in my Apollo Twin. That sounds really great. That's a similar thing. And that sounds really great too. In many ways, that's all I really need. I just think it's so easy to end up with like millions of plugins for electric guitar and just never use them. So I'm trying to hold off, but I'm going to be annoyed if I don't buy them. And then in 3 months, if they say you can now use them in the Quad Cortex, and then I want to buy them and they're double the price. I mean, I probably won't buy them at that point, but I don't know. It's, I wish they'd added that feature already. Onkar said maybe some of these companies will try to develop new stuff via crowdfunding, set a target and do it if there's enough interest. Well, a lot of companies have done that already. In fact, I did one at NAMM 2 years ago. Someone's made a wireless system, like the two bugs, where you plug one into the amp, one into the guitar, and it's got EQ and a recorder built in. So the idea is you go to your band rehearsal, you plug it in, and you're wireless, and you can also open an app and EQ that instrument and record that instrument, and they all work together with the band, and you can record the band. It's like a super wireless system. And I did I'm glad you said that. I forgot I did it. At NAMM 2 years ago, I put my money in for the what do they call it? The startup thing. And they occasionally email me to say they're doing work on it. I think they've almost finished it now. But again, a bit like what I said about firmware earlier, it's dangerous, isn't it? Because what if they never finish it, or they lose their funding, or they release it and there's a problem with it, or I don't know. There's a good and bad to everything in life, and there certainly is with things like that. But yeah. Maybe I shouldn't say I want to see more innovation and not be prepared to back it financially. I don't know. Paulie says, with Kemper, does it matter what amp is used to output the sound? I'm not quite sure what you mean, Paul.
Do you mean like a physical amp if you're going through an amp, or you mean like the amp that's in there? Because normally you'll use that with a flat response speaker. And
Zane says, I have the Acoustasonic, but it does not feel acoustic like my Martin. I watched Andy playing the new Taylor Solid Color V-bracing and sounded stunning and looked like Ferrari. Yeah. They are the kind of Ferrari of the acoustic world. Acoustasonic, that's true. Again, I'm so used to playing a full body acoustic like this one behind me on stage that once when I went to play the Acoustasonic for the videos I made on it, it felt weird because it was so thin. I almost missed having the big body to kind of have that resistance with, when I'm playing. So I really think with this gear, it's what you get used to. I think you get used to something and then the next thing doesn't feel the same and you're out of your comfort zone. I think that can happen. Paul says, I have a Taylor T5Z. This hybrid model has got both the worlds. The physical amp. Okay, well, the Kemper is like the Headrush and the others. You use it direct. I mean, those things, these amp modelers really shine with like the headphones and the in-ears, don't they? Because you're hearing that sound you'd get from a microphone anyway.
If you're going to go through a physical amp, you would disable the cab in any modeler, basically.
Yeah, that's what I do. I turn off the... Yeah. On the Quad Cortex, I load just an amp or just a capture of an amp with no cab, and then run it through the real cab. Yeah, this orange thing is cool. It's kind of big and heavy, but it's good. And I like the fact it just has the treble and the bass. So if you're playing, you can just make quick adjustments to the overall tone with the physical control, and then get on with the gig. So does that have a tube in it? Does it have a physical tube? No, it's solid. It's completely solid state. But I was looking at So today I was looking at the Katanas, and the Katanas are also AB solid state power amps. And I wonder if that's why I've liked those in the past too. I thought maybe I should just get that. A Katana is the same price as this and the cab, or cheaper. And I thought, and that's got a power amp input. I thought maybe I should get that. But the cool thing with the orange is you could use it with any cab. So if you go to a rehearsal room, you could plug into a 412 with the orange and play through that. So I like the flexibility of that. That is the only thing that I've really enjoyed so far for the solid state.
You know what I used that was my in between my full tube amp and the Headrush. I have the Vox MV50s with the new tube in them.
Right.
So it's kind of still tube technology. So I was using the MV50s. I got 2 of them there with 4 of the BC108 speakers, and I was running like a stereo cab basically with like a splitter, and you still get kind of like a tubey kind of sag a little bit, but it's got a D-class power. So I was kind of in between. And with that, have you seen those apps? The MV50?
I haven't, but I've got a Blue Guitar M1 that has a nano tube, and that's the only that and the orange are the only 2 things that I've really enjoyed. Well, no, I do. I've tried the Katanas. I like those 2. I tried the Fender Tone Masters in Guitar Center last week. I quite enjoyed that. I think there's too many options. I think there's too many ways to amplify an electric guitar. And there's a new one every week. There'll be another one next week. I think there's just too many. It drives me nuts. I think I've definitely played some that don't work for me at all, but I keep finding some that do kind of work. And I think I need to just make a decision and stick with it, because it's just going to be an ongoing saga with me,
I've been the same way, and I feel the exact same way. That's kind of why I kind of decided now. I've been deciding on the Headrush because I'm trying to simplify my rig, but I have all these things. I've tried all these things. I've done comparisons back to back. I should have filmed all of it because I did so many comparisons that I didn't film that I should have. Yeah. It may have helped people too, but I've tried everything. I have the Humboldt simplifier. I had purchased the Iridium. I returned it. I wasn't happy with it.
Yeah.
I have the Joyo pedals there, the Joyo amp pedals. I've tried so many versions of it, and right now, like, there's so much. It's option overload. But when you find something that works for you, it doesn't matter what it is. To be honest with you, whatever works for you. If you find a system that you like, you can get good tone out of anything, in my opinion. If you tweak it and find a tone that you like. So to me, it's more about find something that works for you, like the workflow that you like. And get your tone out of it, and it doesn't matter what it is. You can get good tone out of a lot of different things.
Yeah, there's some things I've really struggled with to get good tone out of, but the thing is, I think the guitar is very important. You've got to have the right guitar pickups, and you've got to stick with something. But lately, I have had a change of mindset where I've just said to myself, don't compare things back to back. Find something that is good enough and you like, and try to stick with it. I've got to say, the Quad Cortex, what I love about this thing is the form factor and the power in that form factor. So it's got the mic input, which is very important to me because I sing. So I got a mic input, a guitar input. It's got a ton of power. Like my Helix runs out of DSP instantly. This has a ton of power. Yes, it doesn't have all the plugins yet, or the even the effects, because they haven't added them. But if I load up a Fender Twin here and a reverb and plug it into the cab, or even with headphones, I enjoy it. And so I've kind of made this new decision, like, okay, then stick with that and keep working at that and just be happy. I also like the fact it doesn't have all the deep diving that like the Fractal has. The Fractal has every little command, which I think is cool. Don't get me wrong. I don't think it's a bad thing. But for me, I would then find myself then editing and tweaking more. With this, I load up a capture of a Fender Twin and I just play the Fender Twin, play the guitar. And for me, that's a really important thing.
If I'm not mistaken, you can do 4 separate inputs there. You can have 4 people plugged into
Yeah,
that at one time.
yeah. So that appeals to me as well, because when I go to a trio gig and have to take all the PA, I could have my mic into input 1 on a path, and then my guitar on 2, and then I could have you can have the kick drum in path 3 and the bass in 4. You can actually use it as a mixer. Yeah. So I love that. And I love the size of it. You know, the size of it is great. The fact that they really thought it through, the form factor. Like, let's make something really small and really powerful. It's clever. But then again, what are Line 6 and Kemper going to do to respond to that next year?
Yeah.
And then are we going to have the same conversation again? I mean, probably. And at the end of the day, that's why we have YouTube channels. That's why we like to try gear and make videos about it. But I've got to say, I really enjoyed, which is a big thing for me today. I really enjoyed the solid state, the orange pedal baby, and the Quad Cortex. Sounded really good. And I was very happy with it. Which for me to say that is quite a big statement. So keep your eye on those on the Quad Cortex. But yeah, I'm just ready now to see the next Helix and see what they drop into. Maybe there'll be a new Variax, you know, and I want to get that because I want the guitar to go with the pedal board. I don't know. It's I definitely think there's way too. Is it bad to say that? For me, there's almost just too. I mean, we didn't mention the Boss stuff, the GT1000, the GT Core. The Katana Artist, the Wazzacraft amp, the head. I was looking at those again. I used to have those, the Wazza headphone ones. I was looking at getting those again.
Move around and
yeah.
I've seen it.
So today I actually had to talk myself out of buying stuff. I don't think I bought anything in the sale today. I had to tell myself, no, you've got the Quad Cortex, you've got in-ear monitors, just stick with that. Right? Don't order something else. Like I said, I want to downsize more than I want to buy stuff. I bought 5 Keith Urban amps, solid state practice amps, so I can build a small tube amp inside them. Interesting. And the ZT Lunchbox is a sweet solid state amp. Yeah, I hear good things about those too. And they're very great for open mics. They're very small, very portable. You do have to factor that stuff in as well. Like the Helix floor now and the Headrush floorboard they're so big. Like the Headrush looper board is cool, but it's so big. And that wouldn't work for me because I need to take the subway, stuff like that, you know.
Yeah. Well, see, that's one thing too. Like I have the gig board, you know, compared to the MX5. This thing it's bigger, but it's not the size. It's the weight. It's like it's heavy, you know. Like if you gotta like carry it, like you're saying on the subway or something, you know, you want to have as light as possible, you know, to carry with you. You know, that's.
I don't think that's everything. I don't, you know, I see some people in the acoustic world just trying to get everything as small as possible to have the easiest time, even though they're driving to a gig. If I'm driving to a gig, I don't mind filling the car up with gear as such, but it also depends how often you play, doesn't it? If you play 1 gig a year, I think that's okay. But if you play every night, you can't be like dealing with that all the time. Paul says, do you provide training for tone dialing with Kemper? Paul, I have done. I have lots of videos about the Kemper on my channel, and you can watch those. They've had some really good feedback. I do like Skype calls and stuff for helping people with their gear, and I can do that for you, Paul. But I don't have a Kemper right now. But I did have one a few months ago, so I'm sure I could do it for you. So just let me put my email on the screen, because I've been doing that, and I want to do more of that in the future, like one-to-one stuff.
Cool.
Say hi at aaronshortmusic.com. Lee says, if you really want to downsize, I'll take a couple of months. I just love the fact he's still awake. That's
Yeah,
great.
it's amazing. Yeah.
Although, like I said, I haven't been sleeping so well lately, so I've been doing that too. It's not, well, I was gonna say it's not good, but it is what it is.
Right now it's
Right.
6 in the morning for late.
Well, it's this is the highlight of his day. So we've got about 2 more items here. Celestion IRs is your next one.
Yeah, that's what I've been using in my Headrush products, and like I said, you can load them also in products like the DSP VSTs and stuff. And I'm really liking the sound of the Celestion IRs. They sound fantastic.
I haven't tried them.
They do sound really good. It makes all the difference. Like in the Headrush, anyways, I find it makes all the difference. I really like the IR packs.
Celestion speakers. I'm just checking this so I don't say the wrong thing. Do you know where they're made?
Celestion, I'm not sure, to be honest.
Celestion speakers are made.
US.
Their headquarters is in the UK,
UK? Okay.
in a place called Ipswich, and Ipswich in the UK is. Can you guess what I'm going to say? Where I was born.
Really?
Yeah.
Awesome. Oh, that's cool.
So they are good IRs. Look, I'll show you because no one knows what I'm talking about. So this is Ipswich here. You see the bit that's I always say the ear that sticks out here on the bottom right. So this is Ipswich. That's where Celestion is based.
Cool.
I was born there and I grew up on that northeast of there on this part of the coast. So that's where I'm from.
That's very cool.
So yeah, Celestion. And I didn't know that. All the time I lived there, I did not know the connection. Impulse responses are a weird one because at the end of the day, they are basically a capture of a speaker. They're a very advanced EQ curve, but they do make a big difference. I'm not a big fan of the Helix cab models. When I load in my own IRs, I think that thing sounds really much better. I really like the... I have to try these, but I really like the York Audio ones. You ever try those?
No, I didn't. I'd have to check it out.
That's the one company. I've been through loads of presets and IRs, and sometimes I've said to people I must have spent $1,000 on presets, profiles, and IRs, and it makes me feel a bit sick. And I don't want to do that in the future. I want to buy products that I can just kind of use out of the box. But I did buy some of these packs, and I have used them ever since, and I'm very happy with them. So I do recommend that everyone tries these, especially if they've got like a pack. Looks like they got a sale on right now too. Not sure which ones I use. I think I got the matchless. When I got into them, they didn't have many packs. I think I got the Mesa and the matchless, and that covers a lot of stuff. Yeah, see if they got a free trial of some. Sometimes they give a few away.
I'd be interested in trying the Fender pack. I think maybe.
Yeah, if you try and know what you think, but
The matchless and the Fender pack probably would interest me.
They just.
If I try them, I'll let you know.
Yeah, please. They sound good, and they sound to me much better than the stock cabs and the Helix. But then I've noticed with like Fractal and the other modelers now, they do have better IRs. I'm sure the next Helix will have better amp and cab modeling too. These things are always improving as technology improves. Lee is still drinking whiskey. Wow. If I drink whiskey, I fall asleep. I have some wine in here.
You know which IR pack I recently bought? I think you saw when I did my live stream the other night there. I bought Doc McFarlane's IR pack.
Yeah, you used them in the live stream. I'm surprised he's not here tonight. Where is he tonight?
Yeah, I'm not sure. But honestly, his IR pack really does sound good. I'm impressed with the. He made it quite functional for somebody who's recording to be able to have the control to control the volume of the different speakers with the different microphones. You have he's got a vintage 30 on one side and a greenback on the other, and you can control the mics, the volumes. It sounds really good though. I was impressed with it, and they're actually on that sale. It's 50% off right now at Sonic DNA. That's where he sells his IR pack. There.
Oh, here's a sale too. Oh, we should give them a
Yeah,
plug.
it's on sale. It's actually for $7 and $7.50 I think for his IR pack right now, and you get all the different variations of the microphones with the volume levels and everything. It's actually it's worthwhile. I got it on sale at $10.50 3 days ago, which you were telling me. You were just saying before, how do you feel when it goes down? I was like, like it just went down a couple more bucks, but at the same time, I feel I bought it to support Docs McFarlane because he has done a lot of good tutorials on the head rush. So
I
feel
did that
it's good to
last
support.
year. You see this on the screen, this frame?
Yes.
Last year when I did my live streaming, I thought I need to have this frame and these graphics, and I stupidly bought this pack the day before Black Friday, and then Black Friday they went on sale, and I already bought. So I did the same thing. I wasn't thinking last year, but
Yeah.
let me just show this. I want to show this to Lee. This is a guitar I got my eye on. I want to show this to Lee here while he's drinking his whiskey. This is the Martin D28 Authentic Aged, and this is near me in Long Island, and this is like it's just very nice. It's like a recreation of a 37 Martin. Because when I was in Nashville at NAMM show, I tried some actual old Martins at like $30,000. But a lot of them are kind of remade anyway with like new frets and new saddles and things. It's like, yeah, how much of it is actually original? So what they've done with this is for like $6,000, you can get something which is basically a recreation of it. It's a bit,
It's nice.
It's
But
a bit.
It is nice though.
It's a bit, it's not a real vintage Martin, but I think it's cool.
Yeah.
I like it.
When I was a kid, the first guitar I had in my hands was a D28, because my older cousin who taught me how to play guitar, he used to have I think it was an '80s. It was a mid '80s D28 that he had, and he used to put it in my hands, and I used to strum on it and everything. I didn't know what I had in my hands at that time, but it's a beautiful guitar.
Actually, that wasn't the one. That's one of the newer ones that they've just released this year. The one I was looking at, the one I was really looking at was this one, which is basically like a Relic guitar. Check this one out. So they've actually aged it more so. So if you look at it, it's kind of, you see, they've kind of gone in there and actually made it look like an old guitar from the closet from your grandfather. Pretty cool stuff. I don't know if I find it contrived or cool when they do stuff like that. But I think that's. Look at the back of that thing. Like this is.
I like the color. It's nice.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Look.
Oh, even the scratch marks on the
There.
pick guard going down.
That's what this. And there's some marks. This is basically a relic Martin.
Okay.
This is a relic Martin. And the other one I showed you is like a closet classic relic, so it's not as beat up as this one, and it's cheaper. It's so interesting how the ones they relic to look older and scratch up are thousands of dollars more than the ones that look more.
Yeah.
It's. I don't know. I'll ask Lee. Lee, which one would you get? Would you get the 1937 age relic one with the scratches on it for $8,000, or would you get the previous one, which was
£12,000. Wow.
which was let me just find it, a few $1,000s cheaper and not as relict. Lee is the Martin connoisseur tonight, so I'll ask him. I think for that kind of difference in price, I'd probably get this one.
I'll relic it myself.
Just exactly. Just relic it yourself, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's Addy top. What's the? Oh, yeah. Okay. The reason for the price is this one is East Indian back and sides, and the other one is Madagascar back and sides. It's a different wood as well. So I don't know. It's so funny. Like with gear, like if I buy a brand new Martin and I get one ding in it, I cry. But I would happily, I wouldn't happily, but I've considered buying like an authentic or a relic guitar which arrives all beaten up. It's like, well, where does that mentality come from?
I'm a little weird with the guitars. I try to keep them in pristine condition. All my guitars. I got my Strat that I've had since '96. I remember when I put a scratch on it back in the early 2000s. I was crying, and I'm glad I kept it. But I mean, it's in almost pristine condition. All my guitars, even the old ones that I've kept, and I keep them in pristine condition. Well, Ian, self-relicing is a definite better way. Yeah, I would go self-relicing, especially at that price difference.
No, but it's also this. This is Madagascan wood. The other one is East Indian rosewood back and sides, which is what they use on a standard guitar. The real reason is this this back and sides is Madagascar. The actual guitars would have been Brazilian, but that would add 20 grand to the price. So that is the real reason. And then the scratches on that is just there to, I don't know. I don't think I would sniff at either of them. Oh, look out.
Hey,
Hippie's here. He's come to
Metal
check
Head
up on
Hippie.
us.
Boom.
I'm looking for a boom sound. I don't think I have one. I need to get a boom. Boom. Oh, I have this one. Where's this one? That'll do.
That's good enough. Yeah.
Hi, buddy. Good to see you. How you doing? All right. Self-relicing is a definite better way to go. I agree. Because if I put a ding in the guitar, then I can relate that to a time in my life and it has a history to it. But the sound is created by the top, not the resonance chamber. Well, I feel like the back and sides are important. I do like the back and sides on that age. I don't know. You know what? I'd take either of them. I wouldn't complain at either of them. Hi, Jeff, Metalhead Hippie.
Do I have to duck now to avoid daggers?
Yeah.
Ian.
Always.
See, Ian's also from the UK, so for him also it's 6 in the morning right now.
Everyone's, yeah. Oh, well, is Ian the TARDIS guy?
Yes, he is.
Ah, very cool. Yeah. So one of my brothers buys and sells movie props, and he was into, the reason I was laughing at that is he grew up on Doctor Who, and we used to have like a TARDIS in our backyard. We used to have like at one point we had that TARDIS console in our garage. We had one. Yep. So I don't know how much of a Doctor Who fan Ian is, but that's why I found a connection with that.
Ian is a big Doctor Who fan. I am indeed. See, he just said.
I couldn't tell from the picture. I once met Colin Baker. He's a doctor. When I was really young, I met him at one of the kind of museums they had on for the show, and he said to me, "Hello, little boy. What would you like from the gift store? You can have anything you want." And I was there with my brother because he was the fan. So I remember I said, "Oh, nothing." And my brother was like, "Why did you do that? You could have got me anything from the store." I was very, 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 very young at that time. All right. I wonder if they sprinkle a bit of sand in the tuning machines to make them feel a bit rougher. LOL. All the time, all the space. Where do you want to start? I'll let you speak to my brother. I'm not going to get into doctor. I'm not the knowledge that he is. All right. Let me get back here. What's the next one going to be? What did we just do? We keep going off on tangents now. We did the Celestion IRs. That's right. Celestion IRs. Yes. They are 45% off. Now, here's mine. This one's a bit controversial. And it's another way to amplify your electric guitar. It's just getting out of hand these days. I don't know what's going on with these guitar amps. I mean, do they really think we need yet more amps and ways to amplify an electric guitar? It seems that they do. And this is one that's talked about a lot. What do you think of this one, Francis?
I came so close to about 2 or 3 times I came so close to get it. I was going to order it when it was going to come out. And then I found the guy locally that had it. I was going to buy it off on Kijiji. And I came so close to getting it. It's just that because I got my Vox amps, I got the Head Rush, I got my actual amp. I'm like, how many do I need? But it is intriguing, and there's a couple of people in our music community, Metalhead Hippies, that do use this, and it does sound good from what they've said. And what's nice about that, if you just want a little amp there to put on your desktop or whatever, you do have 2 stereo speakers in there, so you can get a nice stereo sound out of it. So I think it's a good product, and I think the price is not excessively ridiculous. And I
price
think
is good.
Also,
very good.
The price is very good, and you can use it also with there's an editor on your computer. I think you can use it also as a plugin on your computer. So I think it's a worthwhile buy. But But if you have so many things, it's maybe not necessary. But if you're somebody just starting out playing guitar and you get something like that, I think you're pretty good to get started with something like that.
I had the Katana Air in the living room, and I just didn't use it that often. I didn't really need it, so I sold it. This is a bit like that. I put in the pre-order. I remember talking about gear that's too soon. They did pre-orders for these. They sent them to YouTubers, and the YouTubers got them before the people that pre-ordered them. They then released the app ahead of time where you could try it out. And I tried out some of the features. It was supposed to like listen to your guitar and make a backing track, and it didn't work. And at that point, I canceled my order. I was like, well, if they're making me wait this long and the app isn't working how I thought it was going to, then, and plus I've got other things, I don't need it. So I canceled. But I came close yesterday to ordering this because right now it's $224 with the bag, with the gig bag.
Oh, with the bag,
that's a really good. I think that is the price they had when they first announced it. That's a really good deal. 1 year warranty, return policy. But I just don't need it. And I think they've made, what I like about this company, Positive Grid, is if you go on the App Store and look at all the updates they've made, they've done like an update every month. So this is a company that is updating their software, which is really good. But I went on last night to the app and tried the chord recognition again, and it didn't work. So I'm like, okay, if I get it, I'm not going to use it, and I hadn't even got anywhere to put it anyway in here, you know. And that's so yeah, I'm not going to get it. But you know, I showed you that pedal earlier, the air step, so that will work with this. Yes. That will work with this. So you could use it as a foot control. I could use that to control the delays and reverbs and things in the Spark. So that's it would be nice. I just don't have any need for it. And, you know. Yeah.
I totally know. I got a room filled with equipment, so I totally feel you. Yeah.
Bimo says that was a messed up launch. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was.
But it is a cool product. I have to admit, it is something.
It's tough because people rave about it, but a lot of those people are YouTubers that received them. So
that's true.
How much do people really like it? As a YouTuber myself, I'd like to get one and try it, but I just know I'll end up selling it. And even if I get it for $224, I'm still not gonna get my money. If I sell it, I'm still gonna lose maybe $50 on it probably. And I don't know, it's just another thing that I personally don't need. But I think it's interesting. I think it's cool. I like the fact that it has an app, and the price is great. I mean, that's the price of one pedal, isn't it?
Yeah, right? I've paid more for certain pedals. So yeah.
So I'm sure you can plug acoustic into it and everything else. That's cool. It's got Bluetooth audio. Oh, £11. It's not crazy light. £11. Yeah, I don't know. Part of me just really, I like the fact it's got the physical controls and the app as well. That's nice.
Yeah.
But I keep seeing this on the screen. Look, Josh in San Diego bought one 29 minutes ago. What is that? They're talking about marketing.
Yeah.
And my cynical brain is thinking, is that real? I kind of want to order one now just to see if it pops up. Aaron Short ordered one. I'm so cynical these days, but no, part of me would love to try it. But yeah, I really just feel why are there so many? There's so much stuff. Why is there so much stuff?
There's too many options. It's option paralysis right now, but if you find something that works for you, I mean, you got a lot of cool gear there, man. You know,
I know. I got no complaints at all.
Yeah. But it is a nice product. But like I said, if I was starting out and I just wanted an amp, you know, I think I would go for something like that because there's a lot you can do with it. But with everything that I have in here, I don't need an extra thing. But it looks cool. I know, like I mentioned to you, there's some people in our music community at Hippies. There's a couple people I know that are using this, and they're happy with it. So judging from that, and they're a good judge, I trust their word. So I think it is a good product. It's just, I mean, with everything I have, I don't need a product like that. But I do think it is a good product, though.
I gotta say, like, the app looks great. like why hasn't Helix and Quad Cortex got an app like this then? Why have they got this gorgeous app on phone and iPad, and my Quad Cortex at $1,800 does not? Why is that? That's so annoying that they can do it. Like Fractal stuff is great, but it's so hard to control. People will knock me down for saying that, but I think if the Fractal had an app like this, it would be killer. They don't have an app like this. It looks great, doesn't it? It looks so good. So yeah, I'm like man, $224 with the bag. That's like the price. I could sell one pedal and have the Spark. You know. So I'm so tempted to buy it. I just don't need it. Oh, darn it! I was gonna say tonight, is one of us gonna buy something? But if I was gonna buy anything, I think, well, apart from that Martin, which I really want, but that's $7,000, I think I would get this. If I didn't have 3 tube amps and a Quad Cortex and a Helix, I think I'd be buying one of these right now. Because I think for $224, which is the price of a boutique distortion pedal, I think that's really great, and I bet it's good. But the problem these days is part of me wants to buy it just to see if those YouTubers are telling the truth, just to see if I agree with them, because they've all raved about it. I'm like, I want to see if the hype is real. But okay, maybe that'd be good for the channel, but I don't really want to get into the position where I'm buying stuff just to make videos and losing money on buying it, But I don't know. I'm curious, but yeah, let's turn that off before I press the buy button. All right, I got one more from you, I think. Yes, let me know in the chat of all the things we've looked at. What would you? I mean, I think my favorite one was Ecamm Live because I use it every day. That's how I feel lately. Like I invested in my new computer and I thought to myself, well, it's a computer. In 10 years, I'll throw it away probably, and get another one, or sell it for nothing, right? But I use my computer every single day, and I use my guitar every single day, and I use my audio interface every single day, and I've been using the Oxbox this year most days. So they're all like premium things, but I use them every day. Like, I think that's fine. I think it's really frustrating when you buy something and put it in the closet and don't use it. And I think that is what would happen with the Spark. I just wouldn't use it. And I think that's not good. That's not a good investment.
I agree with you. I agree with you on that because you're right. If it's something that you use all the time, it's worth the investment. And especially a computer. I mean, when you're recording your songs, you want to get, a high quality recording. You want to get it done quickly. We're talking about like when you make videos and stuff, you don't want it freezing. It takes up a lot of your time, and it's like to have the right tools for what you're doing. It's worth investing. Like I've been investing on things that are going to help me do things easier. Like the earpads. I'm here all the time, whether I go live or whether I'm recording. I want to be comfortable. That's more important. Yeah. And like the Morningstar that I got, it's to enhance the use of my headrush pedal board that I'm kind of decided that that's the way I want to go. So by enhancing and improving what you're already doing, I think that that's the way to go. To invest, not to invest in things that it's just a whim because you want to try it, but to actually improve on what you're doing, Right.
Yeah, that's why I thought like the computer, the monitor, the interface, these are things that I want to invest in because I'm using them all the time and I'm using them professionally. And then I don't need something like the Spark because I have in-ear monitors, and an audio interface with plugins anyway, right? So I don't need that. That's really for someone that doesn't have a computer or anything else and wants to have something. So that's a good point you made about not getting stuff just to try it and to actually use the stuff that you have. That's a good thing to remember. Yeah, like we were talking earlier about getting like an M1 Mac, $700 for your streaming. The problem with digital is it's not a good investment because it will eventually just break down and be garbage, won't it? Like you can buy a $5,000 DSLR, and in 5 years that'll be worth $500. Whereas if you buy that Martin for $7,000 that I showed you, it will probably be worth more in 5 years.
Yes, absolutely.
But as long as you use it all the time, that's okay, I think.
Guitar.
You've got to use it
I
all
would
the time.
invest more in a guitar. Absolutely. Yeah.
And like the Acoustasonic, if you buy the American Acoustasonic and they bring out a new one, your Acoustasonic has lost value because it's technology in there, right? And eventually the electronics will die and become rare. That's another thing with electronics. Like, what if they stop making the parts for it in the future? You can't even use it anymore, as will happen with our computers as well. But at least with a computer, like I said, I'm using it every day. So like you said, if you get the beach ball spin or the thing spinning around and you lose time, well, that's not good. All right, I've had one of these pedals before. I think I had on a board a few years ago. I had their reverb pedal, and I liked it. So tell us about this company.
Yeah, new neighbor. I had also the reverb pedal. They're very good. That's what I was looking at mainly, because I was looking at the plugin. The wet plugin is a worthwhile buy right now. They have some good deals on some of the pedals too. Like the Iconoclast is really good.
Nightly,
in
sleep
place
well.
on IR. Oh, good night.
Sleep well with that whiskey inside you.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, their pedals sound great, and the quality is a very high quality. I used to have it at the end of my chain, the reverb pedal, and when I went through it, it seemed like the sound quality of my overall board actually improved, having that pedal at the end of my chain. But
I had this one.
yeah, I had the version 1 of the Immerse.
Good pedal.
The version
Good pedal.
2. Fantastic pedal.
Yeah, really good. The sustain was good. The plate was good. I wish I could use them both at once, and I couldn't, obviously. But I had this on the board at one time. It was very good. Very, very good.
Yeah. And because I also like the wet algorithm that's in there, that's the reason I brought this up with you. Yeah, this is a new pedal. This is really, it's a nice reverb pedal.
The screen. Wow. Screen on your reverb pedal.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's really nice. I heard it in a demo and it sounded pretty good. But yeah, they make some nice pedals.
Oh, shimmer. Yeah, reverb for me is a weird one because I feel like all the digital stuff does reverb very well. But having said that, I like this pedal a lot when I had it. This one here.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think the reverbs for me, like I've got no complaints with reverb on any of the like the Helix and the Kemper, and I think they all do reverbs very well.
Yeah. They do.
But for me, it's more the distortions and the drives.
I'll be honest with you. I got rid of that, and I ended up getting the Strymon Blue Sky in place of that. And the Blue Sky is nice, but I regret it. I really prefer the reverb. That reverb it was really nice. Yeah.
That's a good pedal. I mean, it's $300. There you go. That pedal, that reverb pedal, is more money than that Spark amp. Yeah, and I'm sure the reverbs in the Spark are great too. So, where do you put your money these days? You know.
Yeah.
I just saw the one that I'd forgotten. There's another plugin. Oh, what is it? It's an EQ plugin. It's really, really good. I use it. Fab Filter. Let me just show you this. If this is something that everyone should buy. I use this all the time. I've used it in loads of videos where I've tone matched, basically. It's called the Perccusion. Have you ever heard of this? I've done several videos on it. I've used it. This is a great, and it's actually on iPad as well. I use it on my Mac. This is a fantastic plugin. If you use plugins when you record, you know, like Logic is great and it has a plugin like this for EQ, but it's basic. This is incredible. It's got like as many bands as you want. Visually, you can see everything that's going on, and it has a really good tone match feature where I've done things on videos where I've recorded my Princeton in and tone matched it to the Princeton in the Helix and made it closer, and then saved that as an impulse response and loaded it into the Helix and then had a closer sound to the actual Princeton. So it does things like that. Now, the EQ plugin in Logic does all that. This just does it better. This just does it much better. And it's easier to use. It's got like deeper cuts and boosts, things like that. Like on Logic, you can cut by 12 dB. On here, you can cut by 24 dB. Stuff like that. So I absolutely love this. This is a plugin that I use all the time. And if you do recording and mixing and want to do tone matching, things like that, then this is the one that I recommend. I absolutely love this plugin. Plugins are dangerous because, again, you can buy them and just never use them, right? Yeah, for what I do, I use I use Melodyne a lot. So Melodyne, Pro Q3, and something like Helix Native for the guitars, so I can adjust them on the fly. I use those all the time. But yeah, again, you don't need this. This is in Logic, in the same way that Logic has like a Melodyne plugin, but it's not nowhere as near as good as the actual Melodyne plugin. So if you can get these replacement third-party plugins, they're often better. This is a really great one, and I've used this to do like acoustic IRs. So yeah, check that one out.
Right now, I've been using a lot of the Ozone.
Yeah, that's good too. So they have one like this, and I tried that, but I still preferred this one. I mean, they're very similar, but you know, this is good. And the friend of mine that makes a lot of acoustic IRs in the acoustic guitar forum ended up using this as well. Because what I was doing was I was using his IRs of my acoustic. He would make me a custom IR, and I would then tone match the mic to with his IR to using this, and make his IR even closer to the microphone. And then he bought this to do it himself. So that's quite an endorsement, the fact that he then bought this to do that for himself as well. Yeah. So yeah, it's really, really good stuff. And it's on iPad as well, which blows my mind that a lot of these things are on iPad. And yet Apple are not really letting you use like Logic on iPad. I wish they would. Because if you could use Logic on your iPad and then run these plugins, that would be so cool.
Then I could steal my wife's iPad Air and start recording there.
I guess they're scared it'll eat into sales of their other computers, won't it? That's what it is. Zane says, I really enjoyed this session. Thank you, Aaron and Francis. It was really amazing every second of it. Really appreciate it. Thank you guys. Have a nice weekend. Thank you, Zane. Appreciate it. And appreciate all the Brits here tonight, staying up until the wee hours of the morning. Like I said, I don't usually do these late night streams, but it's definitely been fun. David Belcher says, good night, Lee. Rosanna says, good night, everyone. Really enjoyed the chat this evening. Sleep well, Rosanna, over in the UK. And David says, see you Monday. Yeah, I should be live on Sunday, David, at 4, doing my concert. And then Monday with Maury. I'm not sure what we'll talk about, but we'll do something Martin related. So that is the last thing. So let's just wrap up here, because I feel like, as always, there's not been any like crazy deals. There's not been like, you know, buy a PRS and get $1,000 off brand new or anything like that. Hey, Hippie, thank you. I'll see you on your show soon. I might send you my Christmas song to play. It's coming out next week. Are you going to play Christmas music on the Hippie show? I'll send it to you. I keep meaning to do that.
Sometimes he does a special Christmas show where he
that'd be great.
Just Christmas stuff. Yeah.
That'd be great. I must reach out. I haven't seen any incredible deals, and I don't think you often do. But I think there's I think some things we found here. I think the key is if you were looking to subscribe to Ecamm Live, obviously that's a crazy deal, and that continues for the rest of your life. That's obviously a great thing. But you know what I'm trying to say. I mean, I started today on a negative because we were looking at, we used to go on cruises before the lockdown. We were looking at NCL. And I got kind of burnt this morning because what it said was 70% off. And we realized that actually the prices have now gone up. And so the 70% off was just the same price as it was before the pandemic. I shouldn't say that. Before the lockdown, right? We're still in a pandemic. Before the lockdown. So it wasn't really a deal there at all. And I just like, well, okay, I get it. They've got to make money too. They've had a loss too. But I guess the thing is just to be wary. You taught me a good lesson. Don't buy the Spark amp just because it's on sale. Buy what you need. Make sure what you're getting is actually a good deal. And don't forget, throughout the year, you can get good deals too, right? You should always call the store and see if you can get a good deal, whatever. You should always look on the used market, because you might, like I got an acoustic guitar this year from a friend that's really, really big discount, and it's in great condition because I got it used, right? So I don't know. It's fun to look, and I think we have seen a few really good deals tonight. But yeah, I know. I didn't buy anything today. The one thing I did buy yesterday, which I want to just mention, I bought a subscription to Disney Plus for $80 for the year, and that wasn't discounted. It wasn't discounted, but I watched the Beatles Get Back Part 1, and it's absolutely fantastic. Have you seen it?
I did not, but I do have Disney Plus, so I may give it a go after.
It's absolutely. I was actually going to make a video review of that part 1 tomorrow. It's incredible. Like, they've done a lot of documentaries about the Beatles where they talk about them and show old footage and black and white photos, and they have Paul McCartney talking about the old days. But this is them basically in a band rehearsal. So you see them in really good quality, interacting with each other and writing songs and jamming, and it just took me back to like being in the band. You even see like the friction and the arguments and the good times and the bad times. And one reviewer today posted that it was boring. Like you're basically watching a band rehearsal. I imagine if you're not a musician, it could be boring. But I think for someone like me and you and the people watching this, I think you're absolutely, it's going to blow your mind. So please, if you've got Disney Plus, then please watch it. For me, that was the best thing that came out of this weekend. Apart from Thanksgiving and the family stuff. That's an absolute gem, and I can't wait to see the other 2 parts. It's like 2.5 hours, and there's 3 episodes, and it's just like follows the whole thing through. It's absolutely out of this world, and it's got stuff. It's got info in there that I didn't even know about.
I'm definitely gonna check it out.
And I don't want to give any spoilers, but like, you know how they've always said that Yoko broke up the band because she was like always there, like a shadow over the band. Well, you actually get to see her sitting with the band. And you realize that, I mean, she wasn't doing anything wrong. And at times she's kind of like, they're dancing and she's chatting with Linda, and that it wasn't all, it just gives you a whole new angle to actually see them in person, to actually see the thing happening in real life. It's crazy. I can't believe it took this long to be released. It's crazy good. So yeah, watch that and let me know what you think of that. It's absolutely incredible.
Will do.
David says, look forward to Sunday afternoon. Great. And if you're new here, please subscribe and ring the bell. I'm so close to 10,000 now. I'm so excited. I can't wait for that day to happen. I'm currently at, what is it?
It says 9.8. I don't know the exact amount, but it says 9.8.
9807. So I just need another, I'm not good at maths, but 200 minus 7. 193 to get to, is that right? Remember, I did have a drink tonight. Anyway, just under 200 to get to, 193 to get to 10,000. I'm going to have a big party when I do that. I can't wait. So please share and subscribe. If you're new here, please subscribe, ring the bell, and share with your friends that like this kind of stuff. Francis, it's been great to have you on finally. This is awesome. Let's do it again. It's been really fun.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
No, thanks for being here. Just tell people what your schedule is and what if they want to follow you, what your channel address is.
Well, it's the Padded Pedal Room is my channel name, and right now I post videos up either of music or gear stuff every so often. I try to get a video up once a week, but when I can. But I do a live show every second week called a replay, where I play people's music from our music community, basically, with my friend Ian Luckett.
I'm grabbing the link. I just had the music come through.
Okay.
What? It's giving me a long URL. What's the actual URL? I have one with the Padded Pedal Room, but it doesn't show it yet. It didn't. I don't know why it didn't take, but yeah. I'll just paste the long one. That's fine. Oh, there we go. YouTube.com/the Padded Pedal Room. Easy.
There we go. Yeah.
There we go. So go and subscribe to that. Ring the bell.
Thank you.
That'd be cool.
So if you guys play music and you want to share your music, or if you want to come and listen to music, every second week, not this Saturday, but next Saturday, we're going to go live again. And we have a theme where we're going to be playing people's collaborations. It's going to be our community members who collaborated to do music songs. We're going to basically play that. So.
Well, my Christmas song is a collaboration, so maybe I'll send it to you. Or is it only a collaboration between the viewers, or can it be someone who's not a viewer?
Well, the thing is if you're part of our music community, we can add you to a replay list. If you're not, you just have to request us, and as long as we'll check you out just to make sure that there's no. We don't want people stealing other people's music. We just want to make sure that it's your music. And if you do, if people do covers, that's okay too.
Okay. No, we're doing this Christmas cover. It's me and another channel, Peter Gregg, and we're doing a Christmas we're doing a Christmas song together, so I want to get it played. But yeah, I'll be in
definitely-
touch.
I could play it. I
That'd be
could
great.
play it, Aaron. That's not a problem. Next show, it's already set in stone what we have. But 2 weeks from then, we can definitely
Okay.
look at adding that
Okay.
to the list. Absolutely.
I'll call you. All right.
Cool. Yeah.
I'll use the Bluetooth on the Spark amp to call you. No, just kidding. I'm not going to buy one. I'm not buying it. Don't worry. All right. So go and subscribe to his channel. I put it in the chat there, and I'll put it in the description here later as well. This has been great. Thank you, Francis. Let's do it again soon.
Thanks.
Have a great night. Thanks, everyone, for watching. And to Rosanna and Lee and everyone in the UK, good morning. It's about 6 a.m. over there. All right. Thanks again. I'm going to say goodbye. I'm going to end the show. So thanks a lot. Everyone stay safe, be well. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.